Today, this is not my usual content because I try to stay away from things that may potentially divide Black women based on ideology or whatever. But today I really feel like I had no choice but to talk about this because what I have seen today from Black women and Black men has been truly disturbing. And it actually disturbed me yesterday, but I decided to wait until today to when I normally see people. So I just really want to talk about it. So if you guys don't know, hey, how you doing? Supervillain. Hey, how you doing, Dream? So I think we all know by now that Charlie Kirk, the I don't want to use certain words, so I'll say the discriminatory personality that had a whole bunch of horrible things to say about Black women, Black men, Black people, to make it seem like all Black people are brainless idiots and violent people that have no type of qualifications to do anything, and that Black women can't do anything at all, and that anytime you see a Black woman in any type of position of authority or power, or a position where she would have to be intelligent to hold it, that it's really not that she is intelligent. It's actually the fact that she's just a DEI hire. Now, he also said that he said a lot of things. I'm not even about to go on there right now. So we should all know this as Black people. It's easy to go look up this man. It's easy to look up the many compilations of things that people have put together that he said. So after all of this happened, I go, and for the life of me, I thought that I blocked Princella here on TikTok. I really thought that I did. I don't know what's going on. I go and I scroll, and this lady is having a live. She's having a live where she's talking about everything that Charlie Kirk said is right. She doesn't understand why Black people are mad or anybody's mad. It's so upsetting that he's gone. Yes, Princella the Queen Maker. Then she's saying that, he was darned if he did, darned if he didn't. And everybody unalives, and women be unaliving about that dick, and be getting unalived by men, but they still be out here sucking dick. And I promise you, I was flabbergasted. Like, what does women being unalived by men in a domestic violence situation have to do with Charlie Kirk? What does women sucking dick I have to do with what were Charlie Kirk a discriminatory, and like I said, I have to use that word for TikTok, have to do with anything? Like, so now you're defending this man who also would think that you're a stupid idiot because you're a Black woman. You are defending him and putting down women, your main followers and supporters, at the same time. I honestly, that lady is really grinding my gears because there's something wrong with her. Lady is really grinding my gears because there's something wrong with her, and she does not like women. I don't care what nobody says. And people think that because she likes to have intercourse with certain women, that means that she likes women. She's just like the men that have intercourse with women and don't like them. She do not like women. And I really believe that the reason why she's even doing anything that she's doing is because she wanted male attention, because she was disappointed that men in her life kept treating her poorly in romantic relationships. So she just went and did a full circle in trying to get men's attention in the way that she sees fit now, which is why she goes to male-centered podcasts and things like that, and then talks about how bad women are, as if she's not one. Anyway, that's I want to talk about that. Number three, I want to say that if you hear an extreme content creator where they just say anything to get clicks and views, things that are damaging to their demographic, whether they be a woman or a man. Like when you have somebody that just starts off and says that every single solitary man is incapable of love. He can't do this, he can't do that. You just say all of these extreme things. You're only saying them to get a following. And once the shock factor of that wears off, I the normally what happens, it ends up for a black person tap dancing, coonery ends up coming right around the corner. Truthfully, it's really crazy. That's number four. The fact that I have seen so many black people, black men, black women, crying, weeping, arguing, mourning over this man that said that black people are stupid, ignorant criminals that cannot be trusted. You are crazy. You are a sick, 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 sick Negro. Honestly, you're a sick Negro and you need help. And I'm not saying that you have to sit there and crack up laughing about somebody losing their life. That's not what I'm saying. But to see black people really going through and mourning this man and saying, "Oh, I can't believe this. This isn't right. How could this happen?" Da-da-da. And you're black, you're a doggone disgrace. And you're a doggone disgrace. And honestly, I very rarely, like, especially when it comes to black women, do I like, say, hey, if you do this, I really just can't rock with you, because I believe everybody has a right to their own thoughts and opinions. But if you're a black woman, man, and I personally see you doing that, you're getting blocked with the quickness. Honestly, you're getting blocked with the quickness, because what is wrong with you? Do you believe that this man would do that for you? He's literally made fun of a whole bunch of black people being unalived. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, and lastly, number five, conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory. I believe that there's more at play here than meets the eye. And like I said, I very rarely talk about things like this, but I do believe that this is a conversation to be had. Like I said, I normally don't talk about things like this. Y'all know that if you've been in here. But there's definitely a conspiracy and more at play. And I do believe that things are being manipulated to cause certain things to happen. But y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, I'm gonna let people start talking. If you want to request up, you can. I'll start down here with Seven. I'll start your timer. Go ahead, Seven.
I just want to say, peace, love, and life to everybody, enemy or friend. People that are celebrating his death are the sick ones. I didn't agree with Kirk at all, but our power to question and speak and think for ourselves has just been challenged right in front of our faces with his death. It has nothing to do with whether you agree with him or not. If you walk with the Most High and you are a person of God, you are supposed to be better than your enemy, whether you agree with them or not. Public assassination just should not be acceptable, which is why people should.
Nobody's okay. Let me let you keep going. Go ahead. Let me let you keep
No,
going. Go
straight
ahead.
up, like public assassination should not be acceptable. And if
I
you
think
allow,
certain words you got to stop using, like, or we gonna get in trouble.
okay,
Like
yeah,
you using a lot of
public
words,
unaliving should
like
not be
unaliving
acceptable.
words. So
Yeah,
use
yeah,
something
I
else.
got you. But yeah, it's just not right. People should be allowed to have their opinion and voice it. He did not hurt anybody. I did not know much about him or agree with a lot of the things he said, but straight
You
up
didn't
on
know much about
principle,
him.
I know a lot about Kirk, but like I wasn't a super fan that just agreed with everything he said. I agree with some things and disagree with a lot. But at the end of the day, on principle, it's just not right for somebody to be publicly unalived for having opinion, because whether no matter what side you are, whether you're black or not or white, black or white or not, your power to be able to question, have an opinion publicly has just been challenged. Like, no matter what side you are, there are going to be people on the other side willing to unalive you in the same fashion. And people that are celebrating this and being okay with it because of opinions on like abortion laws and things like that, like
Can't
that's
say that word either, brother. Oh my gosh.
all right, my bad. But like, just bottom line, like,
Yeah, please wrap it up.
ma'am, I'm just saying, like, it's just not right
Okay, I
that
got you.
people.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end your timer. All right. So, this is actually the type of sick Negro that I'm talking about. Nobody said anything about. I know specifically. I said that no one should. I said, is it right for anyone to take pleasure at anybody's unaliving? I haven't really seen any black people doing that. What I saw is black people not giving any type of mourning, not caring. There's nothing in the Bible that says anything about that. It says that you reap what you sow, and that's exactly what happened to him. He said that black men like yourself cannot be trusted, are predisposed to violent behavior, are aggressive idiots that cannot be trusted and need to be separated from society. And this is the type of person that you think has a right to express themselves. Things, words, certain words, especially words that come from white tea people that are in certain spaces, are not just words. They cause violent acts, violence, and things to happen against other black people. So the fact that you said that somebody said that you don't even deserve to have a place in society is wild to me. And once again, putting words in somebody's mouth, nobody said this man deserved to be unalived at all. No one said that. You can say whatever you want to, but what people have to understand is when you say things, words have power. And words also, the consequences that come from using those words reverberate back into your life. You cannot preach hatred, spread hatred, cause division, put down other races, act like you're superior, and think that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, that is not going to come back into your life in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the fact that you would weep or mourn for a man that if something happened to your black behind, he would say, well, that's another one of those super predators gone. You're insane. And that is really one of the reasons why black men will never be respected. Black men definitely, like Seven, will always be at the bottom, which I feel like somebody like Seven is probably comfortable being underneath the white T man's boot. But the who said that you're supposed to be better than your enemy? And how are you not better if you just don't mourn the person that's spit in your face? What? That doesn't even make any sense. As I said, I think that the reason why black men will never be like respected really is because there are so many black men like Seven that are comfortable underneath, you know what I'm saying? The white T man's boot, so to speak. The white T man can look at him, devalue him, degrade him, dehumanize him, spit in his face, say that he's worthless, and he'll still be like, that's okay, master. Give me a hug. Hopefully one day you see me and you love me. And that is terrifying. Terrifying that there are so many people that are broken mentally like this. I'm gonna go ahead and you know what, and you know what I also don't like is that Seven is in the comments bringing up Jesus and things like that. I really wish that people would stop acting like Jesus didn't get rightfully angry, like Jesus didn't go in and turn over the changing tables, like he didn't say that, hey, certain things need to happen. Like, y'all got to get a grip and stop making Jesus into what you want him to be, as opposed to actually reading your Bible and knowing what he truly is. And that is also scary that you don't know. And I think that what you do is you twist Jesus into this caricature that white tea people told you so that you can be more taken advantage of. And that's scary. To me, really, truly frightening. And it's so also crazy that the first person that we can't had come up here was a black man. the first person to start off the tap dancing and the coonery was a black man, which isn't surprising at all. It's not surprising. But it is sad. And yeah, and then it's crazy because this man literally said that he didn't even believe in empathy. He said that empathy was like, what did he say? He was like, it's not something that we should be doing. It's like a fantasy or something like that. Empathy, and that he hates the word empathy and showing empathy. So I find it weird that the very thing that he said don't do, black people are doing for no reason. Like what? Like I'm flabbergasted. And like I said, these black men are really embarrassing me. But it's not like I haven't seen black women doing it too, because I have. I have. I can't. I'm not even gonna cap and say it's just been black men. But let me go over here to this person. Kim. Go ahead, Kim. If you're there and you have something to say.
Can you hear me? Am I live?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually yesterday I was on live with a group, and it was funny. It was two black men in the chat, and just like you said, they was just capping and going in. They was just screaming like, I can't believe Charlie's dead, like da da da. And in the midst of the one guy talking about how, Charlie was such a great leader for the conservative party, he had to pause and say, now, I don't agree with what he said about black people, but, and then pivoted right back into his point of, man, they're always coming for conservatives. Now, I wish at the time I had the knowledge top of mind, because it was a whole group of like right-wing conservatives, and their whole point at the time was saying, we don't do anything to the quote unquote left. We're always the ones who are victims of all these attacks. And I did research. Up until 2020, there were 250 murders committed by the right,
Oh, you can't
and there
say
were
that word. You
40.
gotta use other
Oh,
words.
there was unalivings committed, but on the left there was 40. Now they did say that on the left the rate was increasing, but so is the rate on the right. The next thing to bring up is, wasn't two left-wing politicians just unalived? And then they said, no, the guy who did it, who was a staunch Republican, voted for Trump, went on for MAGA. They said, nah, he was hired by Tim Walz. They didn't do that. When Joe Biden announced that he had cancer, they were cheering, posting, yeah, we knew something was wrong with him. So watching Charlie Kirk, somebody whose entire life was based on sowing division, and as you said, there's a clip of him saying, I don't believe in empathy. Why would you then open your mouth for someone who looks at you as if you're less than human and say, man, we lost a great conservative leader? It's crazy. They treating Charlie Kirk as if he's the new MLK. You got people screaming, oh, he was going to be the next president. Of what? Where? What are his political qualifications? My man been on YouTube talking about black people. I got a whole list of 20 quotes from Charlie Kirk talking about how George Floyd didn't he was a victim of an overdose, and how Martin Luther King wasn't really that good of a guy. He was a flawed human being. And yet all of this goes out the window the second a conservative is unalived. And they don't even know who did it. That's the other thing. They got no idea who did it, and yet they're sitting here saying, it's the left. I'm surprised they didn't even say it was a black guy who did it, because the way that this thing was going, it seemed as though it was a complete setup. Somebody lost their life, yes. But for somebody to sit there and spend their entire life agitating, making thoughts into words and thinking that words don't lead to physical actions. You're saying 20 quotes. I got 20 quotes. I can read it. We're talking about there was a school shooting the same day. Nothing. We're lowering flags to half staff for a YouTuber when another school shooting happened. A YouTuber that said, I know they're never going to get rid of all the guns in this country, and I know there's going to be gun victims.
All
So
right.
what are
I
we
gotta
sitting
I
here
gotta
upset
let you
about?
I gotta let you chill. You gotta learn TikTok friendly language, Kim. You don't get my stuff shut down.
My fault, my fault, my fault, my fault. I do
Okay, so I'm gonna
apologize.
go up here to let's see here. Tree. Go ahead, Tree. I'll start your timer. If you're there. Well, she looked like she yeah, you there, Tree? You can go ahead. I'll start your timer. Tree Roots, are you there?
I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out how to take it off mute. Okay, so no, I have seen Black women.
I think she might have got a phone call or something like that. I'll wait for her. But I'll just keep talking. I'll just say, like I said, it's very weird to me because I don't understand how people are confusing like celebration with just what's the word I'm looking for? Just passiveness, like just not caring either way or one way or another. That's not celebration if you just don't care one way or another. But let me start. Go ahead, Tree Roots. I'll start your timer again.
Okay, he literally said that Black women don't have the brain processing power to be able to think properly, and that I mean he has said so many racist things. I just don't understand all this, all the crying, all the Black women crying on TikTok. It makes me sick, and that's all I really wanted to say. It just makes me sick. Like, I don't get it. What is going on? Like, are we in the Twilight Zone?
All right, all right, all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Tree. Like I said, y'all, I feel the same way. Just to see so many Black women, cause like actually, I really I have a lot of respect for Black women, a lot of love for Black women, and just seeing Black women act like this is crazy. And I'm not surprised about anything else that's going on, but I will say that going and seeing Princella, the first thing that she decided to do is start her live and start bashing women in defense of this man. Like, she's really a sick individual, and at this point, any Black woman that I really see supporting her, I'm really gonna question like your mental state. Not even your mental state, like what type of person are you? Because what about her would make you want to follow her? Like, honestly, is very, very, very strange and disturbing to me. And once again, I wish that people would understand a lack of care is not celebration. Looking at somebody and seeing the violence of their words and the violence of how they live their life, because words can equal violence, especially when it comes to Black people, because a lot of people already believe a certain type of thing. So if you go around all the time saying that certain type of thing is true and telling it to people in like where there are like highly white populated areas where the majority of them is just them, somewhere like where he was at, Utah, which is almost 90% white people there, and then going to other states where it's over 90% plus white people, where they are probably not in connection or being around Black people and saying all of these things and preying on their fears and insecurities and biases and telling them these things is violent. Because what happens when these people come across somebody that is Black? They're going to assume that you were right in all of the things that you said. So make no mistake about it, the things that he said were actually acts of aggression and violence towards Black people. And so the idea of Black people feeling like they needed to take up some type of defense against him or for him is insane, because he would never do the same. There's no Black person that he would think is worthy of it. My goodness, he started trying to tear down the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., a man that he wasn't even alive to see. So he's talking about he's not a good person. How the heck would you know? You wasn't even alive. You wasn't even a thought when the man was walking around. He also said that the Landmark Act of 1964, the Civil Rights Act, was not something that should have occurred. So if this shouldn't have occurred, then what should have happened? You still wanted Jim Crow laws and them to say like no dogs and no Black people can eat here or be over in this area? I really implore, Black people to think critically about these type of things. And it's not just the Christians either. It's not. Because I've seen plenty of people that are not Christians saying the same thing. It's not even Christianity. It is a deep-seated buck broken mentality of being completely conquered by white supremacy that some black people have, and it has nothing to do with religion. Like it doesn't. Now I'm not saying that some people don't hide behind that, but I'm saying I saw far, far, far too many people that were not in any type of religion that were saying these things. Princella is a perfect example that was up there defending this man and lightweight mourning and tap dancing for this man and putting down women at the same time in uplifting him. So yeah. But let me go up here to Unfem. I'll start your timer. Go ahead, sis, if you have something to say.
I just want to say thank you for hosting this live. I really appreciate it because I feel like I've been going a bit crazy. I'm at a point now in my life where I'm trying to really minimize my contact with people who agree with this sort of rhetoric with him in particular. And I'm like, do I block my own sister or just stop talking to my own sister? Because she was one of those Black women, unfortunately, who were defending this man. And I'm like, have you seen what he said about us? Oh, I don't really know much about him, but death is wrong and wrong, right is right, wrong is wrong, and it's wrong for him. And I'm like, he said terrible things. He said terrible things about us. And it's like, do you not care, sis? And it's breaking my heart. Really, like I'm trying not to cry because it's like, wow, she really is conquered. Like she has a white husband, she has biracial children. And I'm like, what are you teaching your children? You're teaching them that it is okay to push this harmful rhetoric. It's not just an opinion. It's really, really, really dangerous. And I don't know, I've just been struggling a lot this morning because it's like, do I minimize contact? Do I not, engage with her? It freaks me out that it's so easy for people to believe or defend white people when they're being hateful to us. And it's just like, do you not care? Do you not understand? But anyways, thank you again for like hosting this live. I appreciate it. I just wanted to share that. And hopefully anybody else who's struggling with people like that, who need to cut off family members or reduce contact, I get it. Like, it does not feel good. But I was just so shocked. I did not know that she was in such deep agreement with what he had to say.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I don't know if you should necessarily, cut off your relationship with your sister, but I do understand your thoughts and the reason why you feel that way. Because it is scary. But I do think that it being black, in this world, especially being a black person that lives in the States, it is easy to become beat down by the what word am I trying to say? By the idea that everybody thinks that black people are monolithic. The majority of black people statistically do not commit crimes, and especially black women. I'll just even break it down to just black women. We statistically do a lot of things positive and a lot less of negative things. However, the things that are negative that are done by a small percentage of black women are blown up and made into something huge and gigantic. And that is what white people and other people take and run with. And so because of that constant, oh, black women are this, black women are that, black women are this, black women are that, I think that causes a deep-seated self-hatred and also a desire to prove other people wrong, that I'm not like them. And sometimes when black women or even black men go to the point to where they're trying to prove to these people that will never see them as anything other than something as less than, they say, hey, if I be a contrarian, if I'm a contrarian, or if I always put white supremacy above my own, I'll tell you what, people will look at me as a good black person. And I think that's where it comes from, the idea of wanting love and validation from others. But me personally, I don't care. If you are not black and you feel like that black women are the worst of the worst, or black people are the worst of the worst, and we're the most violent, we're the most this, we're the most that, so what? Go ahead and believe that. You can just stay over there in your area and I'll stay over here in mine. But once again, this I think is also a shaming tactic that is used for black people that is not used for white people. Because if you go on Twitter or you go on threads, you can see anytime something happens to a black person, there is no sympathy, there is no empathy for black people at all. I'm gonna tell you right now, if a black person that has said the things that this man said about white people was unalived, there would not be a lick, an ounce, a drop of sympathy for that individual. However, because white people as a collective think so low of black people and think that our lot in life is to be beneath them and to serve them and to always put them first, they believe that we should always show empathy and sympathy for them, even if they know that they would never do it for us, because they feel like, hey, you guys are beneath us. You guys are nothing and nobody. Of course, you're supposed to show empathy for us. That's your duty as a good Negro. And if anybody doesn't understand that type of mental programming and that is what's occurring, I really don't know what to say. And it makes me mad and sad when I see these things, because I realize that there are still so many black people that are broken and cannot see the truth. And that is, like I said, scary. And for everybody asking about Princella in the chat, yes, Princella had a live where she was defending this man and putting down women simultaneously. And that to me is really, really, really scary, ridiculous. But like I said, people have got to understand that somebody saying that they are indifferent to somebody losing their life does not equal celebration. Just because black people are not making videos and pulling their hair out and going in the street and rolling in the dirt and crying doesn't mean that they think that this man should have been unalived. I don't think that this man should have been unalived. I don't think anybody should be unalived. However, I don't think that you can call indifference worship. But let me start here to this Sean. Sean, you can go ahead if you had something to say. Are you there, Sean? I don't know. They unmuted themselves, so I thought they were ready. But I'll just take their timer off and wait. But anyway, like I said, that's all I'm saying. So I saw like the guy that first came up here, Seven, how he tried to do two different tactics. He tried to, first of all, weaponize the Bible, weaponize Christ, weaponize religion in order to say that black people should be out here in the streets sad about this man. And then he tried to shame and say, oh, well, you're just a hateful person, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's normally the tactics that people use to get black people to be comfortable with mistreatment, to be comfortable with showing emotions to others that those people would never show to them. But let me go over here to Valencia. You can go ahead, Valencia. I started your timer.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, people like him, I don't pay folks like that no attention, but I'm like, why is it always something going on at a school? These children are gonna be traumatized. And I was looking at some videos of him. He talking about if his daughter ever was raped and got pregnant, he would make her have the baby and stuff like that. I'm like, that don't seem, that's not okay. That's not your body. And he seems like a wannabe little mini Donald Trump to me. And he's younger than me. I don't know. And like they create these laws and stuff that allow people to have pew-pews and stuff like that. So him passing away in that type of way seems like it was kind of coming. But nah, I hate that, it had to happen that way in front of that many people, but he shouldn't have been running his mouth. That's crazy. I just can't believe that it had to happen like that in that school, in front of all them children. And like they were saying, he debated college kids. His grown old self needed to find something better to do. That's kind of weird, though.
All right. I appreciate you, Valencia. Okay. Yeah, I just, like I said, you guys, He said a lot of problematic things, a lot of bad things about black women, a lot of bad things about black men. He made it as if black people are stupid and incapable of doing anything. Like when he made the comment about if he sees a black pilot, he wonders if the black pilot is qualified, and just a whole host of other things. And I think also is that there are a lot of black people that are tap dancers and that engage in coonery. They act like they don't know what white tea dog whistles are, that there are certain terms and phrases and things that white tea people say that may not seem that bad, but we know that it's code word for something heinous. Like that's all I'm trying to say. So when you say things like DEI hire, and you keep saying it and you make it and you direct it towards black people, you make it as if there are no black people that are capable of doing anything. And that to me is crazy. And just like Kalandra said in the comments, why do we always have to be the bigger person? Because they're never the bigger person, ever. Like this whole thing with the unfortunate young woman that got pokeyed on the train, which was so horrible and so horrific. And I definitely feel for her. She was just an innocent girl minding her business. But look at their visceral reaction to that. All I see is all black people need to be put down. That we need to go ahead and find these black people, all of these black people, so we can go ahead and unalive them and all of these things. That's what they were saying all on Twitter. Monkey emojis, ape emojis, all type of racist things. People dropping the N-word with the hard R on it because a mentally unstable man that was on record as being mentally unstable attacked a woman. Now, I'm unalived a woman, which I'm not saying is cool, it's not right, it's horrible, it's horrific. I feel so sorry for her. However, when the same thing happened that was actually racially motivated to that girl, Nia, that the white T man stalked her and unalived her the same way, there were no, I didn't ever remember black people putting that on all white people or black people going crazy like that. I remember people saying that it was racially motivated and it was wrong, and white people telling black people to shut up about it, but that was it. And that's what I'm saying. It's always a difference in the way things are happen. When they do something, it's never a big deal. It's never nothing. It's always shut up. It's always be the bigger person and be quiet. But then when something happens on our behalf, now it's every single solitary black person. It's all of us. It's all this. We deserve to be put down. We don't provide anything to society. We don't do anything. We're worthless and all of these other things. And my question is, why is it that you would want to consistently and constantly show grace to a people that collectively would never do the same for you? And they show it every single solitary day. They was out here literally eating black people, eating them, chopping up their fingers and bodies and cooking them and eating them. Nobody ever told them that they were wrong for that. Nobody ever got in trouble for that. Nobody ever got in trouble for all of the lies that people told on black people and got them unalived, men and women. Nobody ever got in trouble for taking pregnant women and slicing their stomachs open and stomping on their babies' heads. Nobody got in trouble for that. All they did is keep living and keep having children, and these are their descendants right now. Their descendants and their children. So I don't understand why people are acting like black people are out of pocket for saying, hey man, there's something wrong with y'all and y'all behavior. Like I just is crazy to me. And somehow, even though black people have done nothing like that as a collective to them, somehow we're still public enemy number one. We the ones doing stuff. Like what? And even in this situation, I still see white tea people manage to make black people an enemy of it. A black person didn't even do this. But y'all still on Twitter calling black people N-words with the hard R's. Because you want black people to be sad and make videos about a man that would have danced on their graves. What? Like, what is going on here? Honestly, what in the world is going on? Like, honestly and sincerely. And once again, this isn't to say that you take pleasure in anybody's unaliving. This isn't to speak unaliving on anybody. This isn't to do any of that. But I think at some point, you got to use your brain. What are we talking about here? Let me see. You had something to say, Valencia. I can start you another time, or you can go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I seen a lot of lives and stuff, people talking about the left and everything. I'm like, most of us, we not going to vibe with the right and everything that y'all say and everything over there. So I was actually nervous to send my son to school today because I know they would probably have some all kinds of weird stuff on their mind about the left, because, you know, they assume that we all leftists because of our skin tone, you know. But I'm not no extreme leftist, but that's probably how they just assume we are. So if we gonna be triggered like public enemy number one because of that man passed away, he got pew-pewed or whatever, I don't know how that's gonna work. But they having lives and stuff talking about the left did this and that. That's how, I don't know. But that's all I had to say about that.
All right. I appreciate you. Yeah, you guys. Like I said, I am beyond. I don't even want to just totally make this about Charlie Kirk, but and I do agree with Akina 77. They are blaming black people. But I just want to say, I guess, you know, I'm not surprised at, respectfully, what whitey people do. I think that if you're a black person in 2025 and you are unaware of the lack of empathy, the lack of care, the lack of humanity that whitey people consistently show about themselves, you're delusional. You know what I'm saying? You should already know this. So, but my thing is that what is not even surprising, but like I said, is disturbing to me is seeing somebody like Princella, who has built her whole following and bank account on the backs of the support of black women. Her sitting there and you know what I'm saying, defending this man is really disgusting. There's something like really mentally wrong with that lady. And like I said, at some point, if you're a black woman and you're following her, I'm sorry, respectfully, I'm judging. I'm judging you. I'm judging you. And I'm looking at you like there's something wrong, because what in the world? That woman is against you. She's against black people, and that's all I can say about it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Your bestie, you said that they don't have a suspect in custody. I feel like they trying to scramble to see if they can blame somebody that is of another race for it. But my thing is, Utah is almost 90% white tea. So, and nobody of color would have been able to even be around over there, I feel like, without setting off alarm bells. So I know if they try to do anything like that, I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to believe that at all. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when number 5, I do believe that, I don't know how many people in here in the chat or whatever believe in conspiracy theories or things like that, but I believe in certain things. And I do believe that right now there is an agenda that the people that are in power right now want to pass and want to happen. And I believe that they really want to go back to almost I told my husband this. I feel like they want to go back to like an antebellum South or whatever. I believe that's what they want to do. But I believe something they're trying to go back, and what they're trying to do is use all of these things in order to push that so that there can be a move to be made. I believe that black people have gotten to be too mouthy, to have too much independence, to do too much stuff, and they don't want that. They want it to be back where they are in control and have autonomy over black people and other people as well. And I really do believe that they want to almost, maybe if they do something different, but almost another institution of a slavery system. And the only way to do that is to push forth a civil war or some type of, to make it, to demonize certain groups of people. And not just black people either. But I do believe that that is what's on the agenda. I believe that there's something deeper to this. I mean, I don't even want to say, like, I saw some video where they were like like somebody was showing like the video footage, and like there were like a couple men that were in there doing like these hand signals there. And I don't know. I just feel like it seems very fishy. And I feel like he might have taken the L, you know what I'm saying, to push forth a new world that they're trying to push, a new world agenda. And the scary thing about this is that the respectfully, now people can't get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it. The men in our community, a lot of them are so buck broken that it would be impossible for us to have a good foothold, because there are so many black men that are buck broken. There was one that was just on here earlier. He was the first person that came on. But there was another black man that was on here. I think he wasn't on that type of time. So, but I'm just saying that I believe that there will definitely be a split in that. There will be some black men that'll be on board with, saying that they need to protect themselves. And then it's going to be others that are just going to willingly say, put the shackles on me. I'm ready to go back and pick some cotton, or, get back in the big house and start cleaning toilets and stuff. That's just my opinion though. But I do believe that there's something else that's going on here. Like I said, some type of deeper conspiracy. I believe more, but it's TikTok, and I'm not trying to say too much, but I do believe that something else is at play that's deeper. But let me go down here to Naturally. Go ahead, Naturally. Let me start your timer, sis.
Okay, good morning, Triggered. I've been following your YouTube forever. I actually watched your Princella video, which was so on point. But I tagged you in a video yesterday. I went into a live where a man was saying something about black women hating white women or whitey women, and he had a panel of them up there, and they were like not in agreement, saying that, saying nothing but good things about us. And he was doing everything that he could to basically tell them that, like, we don't like them, and to go search Dr. Umar. Like, he brought up Dr. Umar when we were talking about black women and white women. He brought up a man, and he was doing everything that he could to convince the women that we were bad and that we hated them, even though they were not taking it. So anyway, I wanted to come up here and let you know that, because I did tag you in the video because I wanted you to see it to be able to speak on that as well. But I never thought that they would go to the length of convincing them or trying to convince them of something versus, just going and being with them. But yeah, that's all I came up here to say.
All right, all right, all right. Naturally, you said you tagged me. You tagged me here.
Yeah, I tagged you in the video. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Somebody in the comments, B, you said Princella is not the enemy. I very rarely just go jump off the front porch, especially when it comes to other black women. But yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. You get online, you are position yourself in a position of defense, and you start mamming for this white T man that said that black women don't even got the brains to do anything at all. And then you start attacking women and start talking about women getting abused and all of this other crazy stuff. She's definitely an enemy, for real. I yeah. If a man did any of the things that she said, y'all would cancel them right away. If there was a man that y'all were following and he started saying the things that she says actively right now, y'all would be pulling y'all hair out. If a black man got on the live and called black women the B words and said that all y'all love to do is spread y'all legs open and suck dick, y'all would be going crazy. But she can sit there and say that to you and it's okay. Like, please stop it. Please stop it. And I'm not exaggerating. These are things that she has said out of her own mouth. So what? Okay. Anyway, let me go over here to Miss Supervillain. Hey, Supervillain, how you doing?
Hey Trey, let me do my housekeeping by saying y'all come on, tap the screen. This is a hot topic today, very interesting conversation. So let's show some appreciation, hit that screen, tap, tap, tap. Let's get her to the like she deserves. Trig, I have so many, my mind is going in so many different ways. This is going to be a good conversation. I first want to say, I think for number one, Charlie Kirk is one of probably the best examples right now that I can give when I say men not being good people, they can do good things, and we confuse that for them being good people. I'm going to start by saying this. Technically, on paper, Charlie Kirk was a loving father, great husband, did things in his community, supposedly, according to his family. He also had some terrible ideology. So that makes him a bad person. I want to say this, though. I think what you said was very important, the indifferent feeling. And I'm going to say I'm feeling like that. I'm not celebrating. I'm also not devastated. And it's because this is where I'm coming from. Well, first of all, he's a man, so you already know how I feel about that because I'm a misandrist. So that's always going to be the case anyway. But I'll say this. It made me really think. I had to sit down and do some self-reflection. And please walk with me. Be patient with me, y'all. I'm gonna say this. I don't know a lot about him or seen a lot of the clips that he's done. I personally haven't seen him say anything about black women specifically. I'm gonna say that part. So I'm gonna go and look. I personally haven't. I'm gonna say that. But I'm gonna say I have to take the L and be quiet on this one because of a couple things. Number one, I was thinking about his ideology, and if I sat down and write it down on paper, obviously, besides what he felt or what is said that he said about black women, obviously, I don't believe that. Me and him have a lot of similar viewpoints about the trans ideology, about black men, about just different things that go on in the world. So I said, man, if I can't even come up here and talk shit because I've it's recorded in YouTube. I probably said the same thing he said about trans, about black men, about different things that's going on, except for the GUN violence. I never said anything about that. So
I definitely gotta interject there, supervillain. I
yeah,
just I don't want to give this man any type of credence, like anything that he said. Like a broken clock can be right about a couple things, but the things that he said about black men, I don't feel was correct at all. The things that he said about anybody wasn't correct because everything was rooted in hatred. Everything was rooted in saying that everybody is bad except for white people, essentially. So I can't give any type of props to this man at all. He was a scumbucket. He was a racist scumbucket. He even decided to talk about how the Civil Rights Act that was passed in 1964 that shouldn't have happened, and a whole bunch of other things. Like, he's an actual scumbucket. I just can't let anybody say anything that they are in agreement, like that's something to be ascribed to. Like, on the live that I'm on, he was an absolute piece of scum. Like, a really, truthfully, a racist scumbucket. And everything that he said was rooted in racism. He said that every single solitary black person is bad. Black women are stupid. Black men are stupid. We don't have anything that we. Anytime you see a black person in any type of position of power, you have to understand that they're DEI hire, and they took that from a smart, intelligent white T person that would have done the job a million times better. So it's just like, yeah, nah, like to say that you agree or you rocking out with anything that he got to say is completely insane. Like, to even if you felt that way, to publicly verbalize it in a public state where people can hear you is crazy wild. Like, I implore you to just go look and see the things that he said. Because even if, like, I know you're a misandrist, but even the things that he said about black women, even constantly attacking, what's a Katanji? I forgot her last name. Her, attacking her repeatedly. White people are very good at using dog whistles to where they say certain things and it's really violent, but they manage to make it seem like it's not that way. Just like how right before he got pew-pewed and he was asked about the mass pew-pewings, and how he said, well, what we talking about? Or are we including gang violence? Like, that means blacks. That means black people. But he can use other words to make it seem like that's not what he trying to say. even though that's exactly what he's trying to say. The same way white people say urban, that's the same reason why now white people have turned the word woke into something which basically just means black people. Oh, that's just, I saw that movie, Sinners. It was too woke. It was too woke. Oh, it was black people in there. That's what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Not to interject, but the things that he represents is just, um,
I
yeah, you get
I
hopefully you get what I mean,
I
Supervillain.
totally understand. That's why I preface by saying I can't even say that I've seen a lot of the things that he said. I don't know this man just based off the things that the little clips that I've seen, and I am no way justifying anything he said. That's why I said I would be a hypocrite because some of the things he said when it comes to certain ideologies, I have also been on record and said almost the same thing verbatim. I said certain things. And I did preface by saying I don't believe anything he said about black women. I just came up to say, as someone who is, this was my point. It wasn't even about Charlie Kirk, the person, more of the representation. As somebody who has had ideologies and said things that were very inflammatory, and I can even say, even me, rooted in racism and hate, obviously, because I said I am a misandrist. I cannot be a hypocrite and say some of the things that he said because I've also been on record by saying the same thing, certain things, not all things that he has said. So that's why I came up and said it's giving me a lot of thought, and I do have to go and do my research. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow this man at all. Maybe that I have to go do more research before I come up and say anything more about him, but I do know there has been a consensus that this is a bad man, which, by the way, you already know how I feel about men. I was just saying certain things that he said. I've been on record and said certain things based on the clips I have seen. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I've also said certain amount of those things, but him in total, like, I don't know how to put it, in totality, he is obviously a bad man. That's what I came up to say because I just can't be a hypocrite. Things he said about like jail or when it comes to education or black men not being in the home. I've said that, and I've also been on panels with other black women saying these things. Things he said about trans ideology, he doesn't believe it
Yeah.
in it. I've
I'll
also
just
said that.
say, Supervillain. I know you don't know him, but I think that the reason why I'm having so much of a reaction to what you're saying is that I feel like it's almost like, okay, so let's say we had I don't probably can't say his name on TikTok, so I'll say Schmittler, right? Um and like there was a couple things like we knew that he had said that you might have agreed with, but you know what Schmittler stood for. And so we're talking about Schmittler on a panel, and you say, well, I can't really say anything because I definitely agree with what Schmittler said about this and what Schmittler said about that, and also what Schmittler said about this. It's like people be looking like, that's crazy, because why would you even say that you were on board with anything that Schmittler said? Because just the fact that Schmittler is something that you just don't even want to be on board as far as co-signing. Like it just be like crazy for you to even align yourself with him, and even anyway, like it would just be like, I just rather not say nothing, because I wouldn't want people to be like, oh wow, look at Trigger, like she's over here saying that she agrees or has some of the same thoughts and ideologies as Schmittler. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of like the equivalent to saying that you agree with some of the things that he said, because all of the things that he said was rooted in hatred and aggressive, violent racism towards black people. So, like I said, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I just think you should just look them up, because, like I said, I throw when you are a white tea person and you have a big following and you choose to build your following and platform on demonizing black people, lying about stats, and saying that every single solitary black person is a criminal, and all of these other crazy things. Like, it's just no way. Even if you said something that I agree with, right? Like, I like anime. Even if one day he was on there talking about Like, let's see here. I think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is like one of my top 5 anime. He was somewhere like, yeah, you know what? I really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and he was over there talking about it and saying how much he liked it and saying, you know, what his favorite season was. I still would never get there and be like, yeah, you know, he could have been bad, but you know, I definitely was agreeing with his thoughts and perspectives on JoJo's though. Like I wouldn't even ever say it just because of what he represents. If you get what I'm saying, like I just yeah, I just wouldn't do that. I just don't think it's a good look. You know what I'm saying? And I do respect you, supervillain. You know that, and I do really like you. But I do think that this is just, you probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't publicly do what you're doing right now. But
I
just saying.
respect it. I'm gonna take the L on this one. You know, I have no issue with taking the L and taking a correction from my sister. So I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, no problem. You know, I really, 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 really rock with you. And that's the only reason why I'm telling you. Cause yeah. But let me go up here to Julian. Julian.
Uh, good morning, ma'am.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you gotta go. Sorry. You're not black. I don't talk to you guys
Well,
about
I
nothing.
am
Have
black.
a great day. No. Nope, 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 nope. Don't talk to y'all about nothing. Like, and I have no idea why you would even think or possibly believe that I want to hear your thoughts and perspectives on anything. Like I just what? Stop the games. I don't want to hear nothing because all you gonna do is talk about how we should be over here praying and on our D's, you know, thank being so sad about this man passing. No, you're not. That's what we're not gonna do, baby. So yeah.
Wait, can I also say, please, because I'm seeing the chat, which, by the way, y'all know I'm used to being a bad guy, so that's fine. I want to say, I hope y'all didn't miss the part when I said this is a bad man, and I'm not sad about his passing. I said I just feel indifferent. So I just want to throw that out there because I know what I said could be, or it was inflammatory. I'll take that. But I also said this was a bad man. I don't want y'all to forget that part because oftentimes we only remember a piece and not the whole story. But like I said, I take the correction from you, Trig. I'm going to go do more research. And I preface by saying I haven't seen a lot of this man's clips. So I definitely want to throw that out there. But I will take the L. I have no problem with taking the L. I've been labeled a whole lot worse.
Sorry, you guys. Just 1 second. I'm gonna tell y'all I got some problems. I was over here flossing. But yeah, I mean, I definitely I think that you're a phenomenal person, supervillain. So I think I'm definitely on record as saying that. But yeah, like I said, you guys, I do think that what is it? Like there's some type of deeper conspiracy, in my opinion, at play here. You know, and I'm just wondering what it is and what is going to happen and what is going to occur on the backs of this. Because I do believe that this was meant to push forward something. Exactly what? I don't know, but I do believe that there is trouble ahead. I really do believe that. And uh never mind. I don't know how much I can say on TikTok, man, about what I think. But let me go ahead, supervillain.
I meant to say that too. I forgot to leave that out. I think this is something, I want to be careful, done on their side to cause or look for an outcome. If you notice, there's been a lot going on, and Black women specifically have been quiet. We've been resting for the most part. I think, like what you said, they're going to look for a certain demographic of person to blame this on to make an outcome for us, a lot of us to come outside. So I definitely agree with that. I think this was like something done, how can I say it safely? Internally. I want to say it that way. I think this is something that was planned internally.
I do too. I do too. I do think that it's probably going to be difficult for them to put it on somebody black just because where they were. But I definitely believe if they can put it on like a white T Hispanic, I believe they would or will. But if they can't, then they'll just whip up the Democrats and the Republicans against each other. And I just want to put it on board here. I am not a Republican and I am not a Democrat either. I don't have a political affiliation as far as party. So, but I do believe that that is definitely something that they're doing. And I of course I don't believe that Charlie Kirk knew that he was going to be the sacrifice, but I believe that he was the sacrifice. And I really believe that's what's going on. And you know, what people I guess my thing is that when white tea people, you know, get upset, especially in America, get truly upset because of like manifest destiny and all of that, and how they feel like wherever they go that it's their God-given right to have it and take it from whoever is there. And it doesn't matter like if they have to unalive the kids, grape the ladies, unalive the men, or if they got to go underhanded behind the back and get the people, you know, smallpox field covers or whatever, they gonna do it. I do believe that when they get mad about something, like they actually get active. Like if y'all remember when they got mad and stormed the state capitol because they were so whipped up and angry. Like I believe that that is to push something to where both sides get to be that degree. And because, you know, you got the president that's in charge, we already know who's going to come out on the winning end of this. That's what I think is going on. I mean, I think more things are going on, but like I said, I'm not gonna say it on TikTok, but yeah, something in the milk not clean for sure, for sure. And yes, and he definitely said that. Charlie Kirk said that he was cool with some kids or people being unalived every year in order to protect our second rights amendments, if I'm not mistaken. So I saw that as well, because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I've known who he is for years now. You know, my husband, he likes to watch debates a lot. He likes to watch like atheist versus creationist. He likes to watch Republican versus Democrat. He likes to watch people just debate on whatever the topic may be. So I only knew a lot of these weird people because my husband watches literally people that be making me mad to even watch them speak. And I knew him because he would always do all of these debates with like, you know, people and talk about black people and you know, talk about other races of people too. And that's how I knew who he was. I know who a whole bunch of these guys that are just like him are. And like I said, the things that they say are really, really, like I said, violent. He talked about Breonna Taylor. He spit on her name. He degraded her memory. Breonna Taylor, that's what Charlie Kirk did. He did that to a lot of black people. So to see black people or black women specifically be like, oh, it's not right. It's not right. Like, it's just like, what? Like, I mean, I don't think that anybody thinks that somebody should be unalive, but you know, people have to understand that words and stuff have consequence. That's why I'm very intentional with the things that I say. I don't think that anyone should be taken up out of here, but you have to understand that the energy that you put out reverberates back to you in some way. And this is for some people that may not believe in a creator or believe in God. But I do believe that when you have big platforms and you are like actually causing a shift in the culture of whoever it could be black people, it could be white tea people, it could be men, it could be women, and you're shifting it and changing it in a damaging way that's causing real harm. Sometimes I feel like God may be like, yeah, you know, you're gonna have to stop that. And sometimes he says that you're gonna have to stop that by you not being here on earth no more. And that's exactly why me personally, I try to watch the things that I say and stay in the middle ground and not speak in absolutes and only speak with like things that are actually factual as opposed to my um feelings and emotions. But yeah. Oh shoot, I didn't even see T was in the chat. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Hey, T, how you doing, sister?
Trey, before I drop, I wanted to ask what was the Priscilla thing? I didn't catch that part, but I need to go do my research, so I'll go do that now. But what was the was Priscilla involved? What was that about?
Oh, okay. So this is what I saw. So like right after I saw that like Charlie Kirk had been unalive, people was talking about it. I went on TikTok. I'm not TikTok. I went on Twitter to go look at the videos to make sure that this wasn't fake or nothing. And I saw all the videos and I saw that, it was real. So then I go on TikTok, and I'm looking at people like, talk about Charlie Kirk. Some people is making fun of him and some people is just speaking facts. And then some people are like defending him. I go across Princella's live, and this lady is talking about he was right. He was right in everything that he said. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong in what he said. He and the fact that y'all are saying something about the things that he said, y'all fools, because y'all women talk about violence and y'all talk about men, but y'all still out there sucking dick. Y'all ain't scared about no man. Y'all still opening y'all legs, and these men disrespecting you and treating you like trash. You still be over there sucking on them dicks. I kid you not, bro. I was like, what is wrong with this lady? She was like, yeah, y'all should be taking no. It's this, y'all are sick, that you were sad, that you were taking pleasure in this man losing his life when all he did is speak the truth. I'm like, what? What? But once again, this is the same lady that said that Sandra Bland should have had a problem with authority. And if she had just shut up and did what the police officer said, she wouldn't be unalived. Then she said that, she said that Sandra Bland was working off of a fantasy that the police want to unalive black people. She said, so because she had that false reality that police actually want to hurt black people, that's what she brought on herself with her interchange with the police officer, because previously the police officer had stopped another black woman that respected authority that he let go. She been saying crazy stuff. She been saying out of pocket stuff. That's why I don't understand like black women support her. I see her lives, black women be on there. She be like, bitch this, bitch that, bitch this, y'all stupid bitches, y'all bitch this, y'all some, and I be like, okay, cause like I said, I try my best not to cuss in my real life and also online. Occasionally I might, but for the most part, I try not to. Like 98% of the time, I try not to use curse words. And I was just flabbergasted. Like, why are you over here calling these black women bitchs all the time? Like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, she had her cape on big time for Charlie Kirk yesterday. And I actually was so pissed off that I started a live yesterday, but I knew that most of my normal people that I love to speak to probably wouldn't be on. So I just went ahead and ended it. But yeah, it was just mind-boggling to me. And I just, like I said, after I saw all that, I was like, if you a black woman at this point and you still support this lady, I'm just not gonna respect you. It be certain things that like black women do. If I see, I just be like, okay, I don't respect you. I still talk to you and everything, but in the back of my mind, I just don't have any respect for you. But you'll never know that because I'll still be cordial. But I just, no. Any black woman that I see supporting this lady moving forward, there's something wrong with you, period. She do not like women. And she definitely don't like black women. And if you still following this lady and streaming, like she had like 559 people in that room when she was saying all that crazy stuff. And I was just like, yeah. So that's what she was saying, supervillain, just defending them and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't get in ever defending a white tea person that would laugh if you lost your life. They would say that that's exactly what your black behind get, because you are worthless, a drain to society. You have nothing to offer, and you a black woman, so you stupid. And anything that you do, your brain power don't even work on the same level as white tea people. Like, yes, a lot of people were agreeing with her, Miss Chrissy, baby. A lot more people were agreeing than disagreeing. And that's what was scary to me. More people was agreeing and disagreeing in the chat because I was reading it on purpose, trying to be like, hey, let me see if these people agree with her. I was flabbergasted. I wouldn't even been so mad if more people would have been disagreeing. So it was just like, bro, like, yeah, like, I just want black people to be delivered from the sickness that they have. Like, for real. Like, y'all got to stop it. Y'all got to stop it. It's the same way when, I don't know if y'all remember Botham Jean, the black man that was unalived by the white tea cop that, she came into this man place and said that it was her place and then pew-pewed him and unalived him. When that lady got sentenced and the black judge gave this girl a Bible, and then the man's brother hugged that lady, I'm like, that right there, that type of sickness that black people have has got to be studied. Because what the is wrong with you? Are you okay? Like right now, all white people on Twitter are saying that all black people need to be unalived because of that nut man that unalived that poor white tea girl on the train. I think every black woman that saw that video was saddened and disgusted. But they over there talking about, oh, these N-words with the hard R's. They're always attacking us white tees. Even though they know that the number one group that commits hate crimes are white tea people. And the number one victims of those hate crimes are, you guessed it, black people. Statistically, bro, this is a fact. But they over there talking about we deserve to be unalived. And I want to get on my app and see black people defending this racist white tea man. Bruh, like it just make me want to just pull my hair out, bro. Anyway, let me go up here to T Scorpio and then I'll go to Gabrielle. I'll give both of you guys 4 minutes.
Hey, good morning, Trey. Hey,
Hey, good
good
morning,
morning,
sis.
ladies. What's going on? Um, when I heard, I was on another live when I heard he got unalived and everything. The first thing that came in my mind is when he said something on the lines of it should be more pew pew unaliving so we can protect our amendment or something like that. It was like 2 years ago. That was the first thing that came to mind, and I thought to myself, how ironic that you said that this should go on, so you could pew pews should be happening to protect YT. Because if you think you're gonna take a YT man's pew pew away from him, you're out of your mind. They're attached to it. So when I heard he said that, and then he got pew pewed, I went, hmm, hmm. I couldn't help. That's the first thing that came to mind. Even though, yeah, sure, he's a human being, and us at the end of the day, when it comes to like black women, we're the most empathetic human beings on the planet. I don't think no one loves people more than black women. The black women are literally on the face of humanitarian. I swear, they love people, even the same people that hate them. The people that hate them, they love them. Oh, I forgive you. I love you. All this other stuff. Well, as everyone know, when it comes to Scorpio, I'm built different. I'm not like that at all. As far as him unaliving, I'm not saying he deserve it, but it didn't hurt my feelings either. I'm gonna just be bold enough and just say that. It's unfortunate the children's gonna grow up without a father. It's unfortunate that the wife lost her husband because I'm sure he was loved by his family. Yeah, sure, I get it, but I mean, that is what it is. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to address all of this because I see I got like a minute left. So, um, there are some things that he did say because a broken clock can be right again at least twice a day. There was some things that he said that I said, okay, sure, he's on point with, but a lot of things that he said I totally disagree because I like to listen to people on a logical point of view, especially when it comes to politics. I try to remove my emotion and think logically. There are some things he was alright with, but a lot of things I was like, absolutely not. Like when he's
Yeah, I just want to interject yet
Mhm.
again. I
Yes.
really today, and I normally, like I said, I don't try to like, police y'all and what y'all say. But I really, even if y'all think that y'all agree with anything that he possibly has said, I would implore y'all to not say that publicly because this man was a violent, aggressive racist, and he would never say publicly that he agreed with nothing that you had to say as a black woman because he believes that you are an idiot. that you're a dummy, that you are even unworthy of the freedoms that you have right now. So it's just like I said earlier, the supervillain, it's like publicly agreeing with something that Schmittler said. You know what I'm saying? Even if he said something that was on point, you see how crazy that is. Because people be like, what? Why would you say that publicly? Just don't say nothing about this man publicly in any type of positive fashion.
I'm looking like we're talking about it. If this was in the privacy of my house, I would probably said the same thing. Honestly speaking, so I'm just basically just expressing myself. So when it comes to
What?
that, no, I
Who log in?
don't agree with him. I'm sorry.
Oh no, sorry about that. I was talking to my daughter.
Oh,
She's
okay.
going to school. Sorry. Sorry about that.
No,
I
you
thought
good.
I
You
was
Gucci.
muted. Go
You
ahead.
Gucci. You Gucci. But like I said, I don't. Like I said, I don't care about him unaliving. The only thing that was struck me was the fact I was like, are people out here really unaliving somebody because they disagree with them? Because I know I say some shit that's not politically correct, and the idea that we have these unhinged people out here getting easy access to pew pews and unaliving, like mental illness is a thing. And as we can see, it's getting worse and worse. These people are getting more unhinged and getting more bolder when unaliving people. And I feel like, just me personally, shit, if they bold enough to unalive a white T man, which is like he's a symbol of an American white T man, shit, ooh, damn. I don't think it's safe for any of us to actually say anything on an open platform, honestly speaking. Because if this dude can get unalive, like, oh shit, then what about black people, let alone a black woman saying anything out loud? Not saying that like I'm scared or anything like that, but it's like, oh really? Okay. As far as, like I said, as far as him unaliving, really don't care about. Honestly, I don't care. Honestly speaking, So, Priscilla, yeah, it makes sense that she would defend him, I, which is confusing that she would, because I thought she was on the lines of men are incapable of love and everything, and that's kind of weird. That's weird to me, And that's pretty much That's pretty much all I'm just saying, that
Uh,
as far as just the idea that, can we say anything? Can we say anything without the risk of us being unalive and everything else?
I'll just say, when it comes to him, is that I look at it beyond him having an opinion, because any opinions that he had was rooted in, first of all, half of them weren't rooted in any type of fact. They were all rooted in racism and bias, and the idea that white people are superior. And he's not only just said things about black people. Like I said, he's pissed off a lot of different type of demographics, and I think that a lot of times in society now, we consider like people that say things that are um very discriminatory. We say, oh, it's just opinion. It's an opinion that he has a right to have. He doesn't have a right to have an opinion that all black people are worthless dummies that don't have anything to offer society. That's not a freaking opinion, and it's rooted in hatred. And when you put out hatred, you get hatred back, and it's really just that simple. So no, it's not an opinion. It's not. It's the way he thought. It's the way he felt. It's the way he moved. And I'm not rejoicing in anybody losing their life, but what he got back in return to him is just simply what he put out there. That's number one. But number two, besides that, I think this is beyond a, we need to be, are we scared about if we express ourselves publicly? This man was probably unalived by somebody that's inside what they got going on. I truly believe that this is a conspiracy. I believe that he got taken out by his own people so that they can push this agenda of some type of civil war, some type of, wresting of the government away from any type of like Democratic Party or whatever, to where they can just go ahead and go into their totalitarian, dictatorship, openly oligarchian, government that they're looking for. I don't even believe nobody on the left did it. In my opinion, I don't. But yes, I think that a lot of times, like, we have to call a spade a spade. This man didn't have no opinion. All he was doing is spouting off things because he's a racist, sexist piece of trash. He said that women are out of their prime. If I'm not mistaken, he even said at 25 or 30. that women are out of their prime. So you need to hurry up and get yourself a husband before you lose all your worth and value. He also said that if his 10-year-old daughter was great, that he would make her have the baby. Like, he said a lot of things that are beyond just black people, that is beyond having an opinion. It means that he's a scumbucket. And I think that a lot of times, like, me personally, I do give people, a chance to think their thoughts and stuff like that. But in my opinion, it's certain thought processes that, in my opinion, it goes beyond an opinion. If you believe this way, okay, I think you a sucker. I think you a punk. I think you're a horrible human being, and I just can't rock with you because of your opinion. Now, with certain things, you know what I'm saying, we can agree to disagree on, right? We can agree to disagree on whether there's a God. We can agree to disagree on religion. We can agree to disagree on, in what ways you women should have abortions. I feel like you can disagree on that if you're a woman only. But we can still come say, hey, at the end of the day. But when you believe that all of one race, of people are inherently inferior and your race is superior, and you say things that could possibly get a black person unalived or strange fruited, then yeah, like, nah, it wasn't just your opinion, and I can't rock out with nothing that you saying, and I would never give you no type of props, no type of positive. I would never say nothing that you said was right, that you had any type of point. I would never say nothing even remotely positive about you, because you're not worth it. You're not worth me saying nothing about you. It's just like if, like, you had somebody that you deeply, deeply hated, like it was a woman, like she unalived your husband, she unalived your kids, she stole all of your money, she did all of these things to you, and you were just left with nothing, and you were, like, I don't know, in the gutter living in the tent, and somebody said, hey, you know what, such and such made this point, and you agree with the point. Like, would you say, oh yeah, she had a point though, or would you say, Kirk? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with Charlie Kirk. Like, I'm not giving him a point and nothing. And just like Morgan said in the comments, yes, I'm already strapped, and I stay strapped everywhere I go, to be honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be even doing it even further, because at certain places, like, I might be like, do I really need to? But now moving forward, I'll be strapped up every day, all day, everywhere. Even when I go to my local bougie supermarket, even when I go to Trader Joe's, man, even when I go, you know what I'm saying, to Costco and get my stuff. Like, I'm talking about everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Normally, like I said, I have it everywhere, but just a couple times I'll be like, oh, we about to go to Costco, we about to get all this stuff. Ain't no purpose in me. Like, I'm bringing it everywhere, because at what point are we talking about? Like, I'm just like, yeah, because they are, like Miss Chrissy Baby was saying, they are blaming black people, man. Blaming black people on Twitter, talking about black people deserve to be unalived, calling black people, talking about, yeah, this about to be, now we not playing no games. Now we not playing no games with y'all N-words and all. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, we didn't even do it. Y'all mad at us because y'all person got pew by a non-black person? What? Like, like I said, I don't know. But let me keep going. I'm sorry. I just
I was
went on a
gonna
rant.
say real quick. I was gonna say real quick. Honestly speaking, him being a racist is not surprising to me. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I suspect all white people to be racist until proven otherwise. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is something that I have come to grips with reality. That the average white person that's walking amongst you, smiling in your face, no matter how nice they seem, I suspect them to be racist. I expect that. Honestly speaking, to me, you're racist until proven otherwise. So him being a racist to me is like, duh, he's white. Yes, I expect him. He's right. He's white and he's a Christian. Yes, he's racist automatically. Honestly speaking. I suspect that damn near 90% of the white politicians, honestly speaking.
All right. I got you, T. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know not all white tea people are, racist or whatever, but I do believe the bulk majority are. And white tea Christianity, I've had a chance to be in a lot of white tea Christian spaces, and um their way of separating, like, the fundamentals of, like, Christ and loving each other, and being racist and still feeling like they be right in line with, like, godly principles, is scary and terrifying. It's real scary. But let me keep going. Let me go up here to Miss Gabrielle. Go ahead, Gabrielle. How you doing, sis?
Yeah, I'm great. I have so much to say about this. Like, I'm someone who's been following politics for the past 10 years and, like, been writing about it for almost 9 years now. So I'm super familiar with it. I am definitely in the camp of people where I do not care that he was, unalived. I do not care. I watched that video of him on loop taking that, what to the neck, and I felt nothing. Like, and that some people might think that that is like cold or insensitive, but I'm seriously like, ever since November 5th, 2024, there's definitely been a shift in me and how I view like the United States as a whole and how I view people who are Trump supporters. And when it comes to Charlie Kirk, I mean, this man, he said like you were saying earlier, he said that he thought, this like gun deaths were just like a casualty or just like part of what had to be, in place for the Second Amendment. He was on record saying that he didn't believe in empathy. He's been on record rallying against women having access to birth control, rallying against women, being in the workforce, very much, in the red pill manosphere lane. He, like you said earlier, he went on Jubilee and said that if his 10-year-old daughter was, sexually assaulted and like impregnated from that, he would force her to give birth. And this is just me speaking for me, but I'm really at the point where the less people there are in the world like that, I believe it is a net positive. And I get what people are saying about, oh, we don't want political violence. We don't, but it's like, okay, if Charlie Kirk had lived, he would, who knows how much more of this bile he would have gone on to spread. If he's, oh my God, if he survived getting nicked in the neck like that, he would have been insufferable. I'm so glad he's gone. I've posted that on my social media openly. I do not care. He was objectively not a great person. He openly said that he did not care about empathy. And as someone who is very familiar with US politics, there are ways to discuss political issues, even if you have, whether you're on the left, the right, whatever, there are ways to discuss issues without being inflammatory and reactionary. And he purposefully built like, I'm just getting pissed off talking about, he purposely built a brand and went about politics in a way to intentionally tick people off, to intentionally cause division, to intentionally, target various communities and groups of people. So it's like, if you go through your life year after year after year, putting all of that negative energy out with a stupid smug smile on your face, on your like radio show or your platform or whatever, what you're doing. Like, it's not like he wasn't do all of what he was doing. He wasn't doing it any of it from a good faith, let's have an honest conversation. No, he wanted to be a negative force, and he got what came along with that. He, like, you can be pro Second Amendment, but saying that you think, oh, like, deaths are just acceptable, like, that's a crazy thing to say. Like, whether you're for the Second Amendment or not, saying that empathy is a bad thing, and like a lot of these like conservatives have been saying that lately, saying that empathy is a bad thing, that's new age BS. Okay, so if he feels that way, then by his own logic, nobody should care about his death. So that's why I did not feel any kind of sympathy for, him in that video. The only people I would have sympathy for are maybe his kids. I don't care about his wife, because she knew what she was marrying into. She knew that that was the guy that she was with. And this is why I talk about pick me women. Like, they get with these guys who are terrible men, and they don't care about these men being objectively terrible people until that terribleness, I know it's not a word, or that terror, boomerangs back on them. So, I mean, that's really where I am with it. And as far as Princella defending Charlie Kirk, I mean, I saw a video you did of her. It was like about on YouTube, like a 30-minute video where she was really saying these, like, going back and forth on like her views of women. I mean, the fact that she's defending him and putting down women, I mean, I don't think Princella is a credible person alone. As far as number 3 goes, I definitely do think that Charlie Kirk is a grifter. He was in it to make money. He didn't want to have any kind of serious dialogue about political issues, which, like I said, there are ways to do that, regardless of whether you're a Democrat, Independent, Republican, or whatever. And as far as number 4 goes, honestly, anyone who is defending Charlie Kirk, I mean, I really do think that they are objectively stupid people. This man, all the people who are defending this man, if they had been the ones to pass away, Charlie Kirk would have said that their death was acceptable, that it was just a casualty, that was just something that had to happen, and he would have continued spreading his bile. I do agree with number 5. I do think because of the shooting, it probably is going to like ramp up divisions, because I've been seeing what conservatives and Trump supporters are saying online about it. But at the end of the day, if he'd lived, he would have continued to be divisive and hateful. So like, I don't care about this man's death. Yes, I think he deserved it because he was an objectively terrible person. He did not put out any good into the world. Like he really didn't. Like and there is some, and I've seen other Republicans who they do talk about issues, but they do it from a way that's not the way that Charlie Kirk did. So no, he got what he deserved, because at some point you put out all that negative energy, you're going to get it back. And my timer's probably out. So yeah, but that's just what I think. I'll land my plane there, but I do not care that he is dead. In fact, I'm glad he's gone, and I will land there.
All right. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. All right, I'm going to move forward to, I'll start your timer. Go ahead, Mr. Kingsley.
That's me. Thank you so much for having me, Triggered. I'm a big fan, by the way. I'll keep this quick. I lost respect for so many black male content creators from yesterday. I have at least 3 black male content creators that I unfollowed, because 3 of them were trying to be neutral. And I asked one guy, what do you mean you're trying to be neutral? He's like, oh man, but this is not good. I'm like, this guy hated your guts, right? This guy would have poured gasoline on you if you were on fire. But they couldn't see past this. And I was like, what are you doing? I even had one guy tell me, oh no, this is bad, because think about it, we cannot have freedom of speech anymore. I'm like, no, you can have freedom of speech, but don't, there's also something called consequences which could come, and I don't understand why this is, I think it's exposing a lot of people in the black community, especially a lot of black men in the communities that generally don't have a spine. You know what I mean? And I think it also exposed to me a lot of whitey folks that are still, they may look like friends, quote unquote, but also deep down they believe, or they align with his rhetoric. I mean, I just come off LinkedIn, right? Something that's supposed to be professional, right? And there are tons of whitey men and women, professional looking, posting Charlie Kirk's picture, talking about. I mean, one woman posted she posted a picture of Charlie Kirk and his family and holding his daughter, because that's the picture they're using now, right? Oh my God, you may not have agreed with his rhetoric, but nobody deserves to be, unalived, right? I'm like, what? Excuse, what? What's going on here? This guy advocated for gun violence. I mean, he even said that some deaths, I don't know if I can use the word death, but he said some people must be unalive to keep the Second Amendment. He said that. He literally said that with his own words. And secondly, he also said he doesn't believe in empathy. So case closed. Why should we now have empathy for a man who said he doesn't believe in empathy? It's just weird to see how some black men are reacting, being spineless, and how the broader whitey community are moving the goalpost. It is bizarre to me. It is truly bizarre to me. And I look at it this way: as if us as black folks, right, we get unalive or we do something terrible, do you think they're going to give a damn about us? Hell no. And they've shown us time and time again. As a matter of fact, they use it as a tool to point the finger and say why they don't like us. Yet when it's their turn, we have to now show the empathy. I mean, I know my time is almost up, but I'm going to say this. I just came off from another content creator's page, and she said, why do we always, as black folks, have to be the bigger person, quote unquote? Why do we always have to be the ones to, take the high road? No, we need to play your game. If you're going to ridicule people like George Floyd and people ridicule the black community for what goes on, we are going to use that tactic against you. And there's no way we're going to be the bigger person. And it's beyond me. And there's a lady who indeed is using this to, she's supporting him, defending him, and talking down on the black community as well. It's crazy. It's shocking to me, to the point that I had to unfollow so many people, because this cannot be people we align with in the community. I'm going to stop there, Triggered, and thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
No problem. I honestly, I feel the same way. I have unfollowed and blocked multiple people. And I've been surprised by people's statements, even black women's statements about some of the things, regarding this man. And it's been boggling my mind. I mean, I just feel like like I said, I'm not here to advocate for hate or anything against anybody, but I believe in one band, one sound. Once you show yourself to be racist or an enemy to black people, I'm not rocking with nothing you got going on. Like nothing. I'm not rocking with nothing that you got going on. I'm not supporting you. I'm not saying that I feel bad for you. I'm not going to say, what I'm saying, I agree with nothing that you had to say. It's up and it's stuck forever, like in my opinion, because that's what they would do to us. Like giving them like a grace of like seeing their perspective or something like that when they would never do the same for you is just like, what? Because they would never do it for you. Like they would never do it. And I think that that is exactly how white people are able to get over, because they prey on your humanity. They know that you have humanity, but they know that they don't. So that's the reason why it's like, if you ever watch movies where like somebody will spare somebody's life and then they'll turn around and that person has been spared to go and try to attack them after that. That's exactly what white people do, and they do it all the time. But black people still be the one to keep on sparing them, or trying to be like, oh well, no, I understand where they were coming from. I understand their perspective on that side of things. Like, no, don't give them no type of props, no type of grace, no type of nothing, because they would not do it for you. Even if it was something so very clearly obvious, they still wouldn't do it. And I believe that's another reason why they're able to get on, because black people, they have that humanity. They have that innate sense of fairness and what's right and what's wrong. And it's not anything wrong with that when it comes to black people, because that's one of our strengths, but it's also one of our weaknesses, because people weaponize that against us. They know that person, you're going to be like, well, it's only fair that this, or it's only fair that that. And because of that, they're able to be like, gotcha, 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 because now we finna play in your face. But anyway, let me keep going. I'll go here to Maria and then Revi.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Hey.
I wanted to say, Mr. Kingsley, you stole my thunder. Thank you. I mean, it was so well put and so poignant. I also wanted to say I was watching the news like so many of us yesterday, and it was amazing to me the spin of all of this. It was amazing to see not only because I was watching the media news outlets, all of them switching back and forth, and in 4K how this is about debate and how we don't have to off one another based on debate. This was not about debate. This was not about disagreements. This was pure, unadulterated hate that this man was spewing. This is not about mental illness. I do not believe that you have to be mentally ill to off somebody to come to the conclusion, if you are of that mind, that this person doesn't belong here. I don't believe that. I believe that there is such evil in this world that some people really have to go. And somebody woke up that morning and said, you know what? I've had enough of this. Yeah, you're out of here. The same way that somebody woke up several mornings decades ago and decided that Dr. Martin Luther King needed to leave this place, and so on, and Malcolm X, and so on. So they never talk about mental illness when it's their side doing that. But now that they did it, now it's all about, it's always mental illness. And also, this man, like, he was so vile. He was such a vile person. And he could get up there and say anything. And any of those people would rally and say, well, you have a point. Yes, it's solely about cloaking it under debate is diabolical. Cloaking it under debate is just diabolical. And I also say, that the YT base, this was done, in my opinion. I agree with you. I agree that there's some conspiracy, and that now that the YT farmers are losing their farms, now that the YT middle class, all of his tariffs and all of his socioeconomic policies are affecting them, they saw that come primaries and come any upcoming elections, that those YT people are angry and upset due to all those town hall meetings that they don't want to broadcast to the greater US base. They had to do something. This is another distraction. And they needed to do something extreme to galvanize their base. And that's what they came up with. And he was the lucky candidate. And so now everybody is distracted by what happened to him. And now it is going to galvanize their base. And it is going to cause them to lose sight of everything that has been happening, the trickle-down effects of all rump policies. I hope it doesn't work. I hope that when they can't buy eggs and they can't buy gas and everyday items that they need, that they stay focused and they go out there and vote correctly. I doubt it, but yes, I do believe it's a conspiracy. I do believe it was extremism to galvanize their base and be a distraction and try to bring the YT people back into the fold. I land.
Sorry, y'all. Right. You know what, Maria? I think you made a lot of points. I actually believe the same thing. That's why I put at the bottom, number 5, conspiracy theory. I do believe that this is a conspiracy. I do believe that they did make him a martyr. Of course, I don't believe they told his dumb behind that that's what he was finna be. But I do believe that's exactly what he is. I watch so many videos of YT people effing around and finding out they're talking about Trump's tariffs, and they talk about how they ain't got no money and how they think they gonna file bankruptcy and how this farm been in their family for decades after decades after decades, hundreds of years or whatever the case may be. And now they finna lose it. And now they're mad at Trump and all of this stuff. And they need to get a way to get these doggone, people back in line. And the way to get white people back in line is to prey on their hatred and to prey on their racism and to prey on, them feeling like that they are in some way superior and giving them somebody to hate. Because white people will vote against their own interests. They will do things that's not even in their favor if they think that somebody black is going to be hurt, or somebody else of another race too is going to be hurt behind it. And I really do believe that. I also believe that's going on, but I also believe that what they want to do is go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and get into a like I said, totalitarian, I don't know, dictatorship, or be an open oligarchy. But they want a situation where because people getting $2, people having TikTok pages where they talk about this and that and the third. And I think that these white men, because their numbers are dwindling, because they're not reproducing enough to, replace themselves, that they say, hey, look, if there's going to be a time for us to make a grab to be on the top openly again, we about to do this right now. And I really do believe that that's what's going on. And a lot of people are so stupid that they don't even see it. But I agree with you. I think that is something more deeper at play, which is why I feel uncharacteristically passionate about this today, which is why I feel like, bro, like, please don't give this man any type of props or anything. Because if you only knew that this man that was unalive, if he could see you in chains, he would want to do that. And just because they don't say those exact words don't mean that that's not what they're saying. Like, white people are expert level at finding words to use it for a violent way, but using it to where they don't have to call you the N-word with the hard R no more. Like I said earlier, they've transformed the word woke into a hate word. If somebody can change the word woke that was just meant for black people to say, hey, brother, stay awake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, brother. For them to take a word like that and change it into something that is basically essentially the N word, a respectable N word should let you know what type of time they be on for real. Like how, like I said, but right before he got pew-pewed, when the guy asked him about mass pew-pewings, and he said, well, are we talking about gang violence? That right there means black people. You know what I'm saying? Like they managed to turn, like how they turn the word urban communities to mean they have done so many things like that. But anyway, let me just stop. Let me just keep going. I'm just saying that this is not the time, in my opinion, for any black person to extend any type of grace in any situation. And in my opinion, anytime you will say that you agree with somebody that is would be happy with the extermination of your children, then you got to understand that that's not something that you should publicly do. Just that's just my opinion, though. I'm just saying, like, it just don't look right to me. But let me keep going. To Rivy. No, yeah, Rivy, and then Miss Chrissy Baby. Go ahead, Miss Rivy. If I'm saying your name wrong, let me know. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on. You there? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, sis. I'll start your timer.
Okay. So I'm gonna not touch on the Princella situation because I have not seen it. So I don't want to talk about anything that I have not seen for myself. So I can't give a thoughtful response on that. But I will say that I'll touch on Charlie Kirk. So I'll just go down a couple of things on the list and make it real short and simple. So Charlie Kirk's death, that is literally what goes around comes around. He he spewed hate, and what he gave out into the universe came back on him. What people need to understand, because I think they're confusing free speech with responsibility for your actions. So free speech protects you legally. It does not protect you from real world consequences. And that's what I've been trying to discuss with people. Like, yes, free speech, and free speech has been infringed on already. I was in another live where I had to turn it off because I'm like, free speech has already been infringed on. They're stopping people at the airport and going through their phones and tapping them because they said something about Trump. So we need to realize that it had already been here before, he was pew-pewed yesterday. As far as, I also want to talk about my people. Unfortunately, you've got mail. Yes, white people generationally, they are racist. I believe that it's passed down through their lineage. I believe that because the punishment for the Confederacy wasn't handled right, because they weren't really trying to punish them, they were just trying to stop them from splitting up the South and the North. I don't think that was punished correctly, so they've been free to run rampant with their hatred through time, through their ancestry, through their DNA. They passed it down through generations. So I don't think that's ever going to stop. However, my issue comes with our people subscribing to white supremacy ideology. Literally, I've been quite disturbed watching black people, black men in a lot of instances, entertained by watching another group of marginalized people be oppressed. That's been quite disturbing to me. They have subscribed to the same ideology of their oppressor, and that's where we need to stop. But I would love for us to stop focusing on the problems and fighting over that, and focus on solutions, because going forward, they're going to find a way to spin this on black people, some kind of shape, form, or fashion. They're going to try to. And they've already attacked us in the job market by laying off over, I think it's like 500,000 plus, or whatever that number was that I saw, of black women in the workplace. So they're going to continue to try to destroy us from the outside. But if we're aiding them in doing it, in infighting and destroying ourselves from the inside, we're not going to be able to stand strong if something does pop off. Because eventually, I want to be honest with everybody, we are declining into a dictatorship. And eventually they're already coming for us. So if we don't stop this infighting and start coming to a common ground, we're going to destroy ourselves. We're going to help them. But I personally, I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories. We do not know all the details. I don't know if they planned this to make him a martyr for or to prevent the elections. They sound like great theories. but I don't know the reasoning behind why they're doing this. But I am going to be honest. I don't have empathy for the situation. I'm trying to, but I can't just bring myself to have empathy for a man that literally was a community college dropout
I'll give you one more
saying
minute.
that other people are uneducated.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think he's like a perfect picture of like what white tea mediocrity does for you. You're able to be mediocre and be and ascend to high levels just because of your whiteness. So yeah, I'll just say this as far as the conspiracies. I mean, I think it's if we look at history, like things like this have happened before. They have been behind things, unalive people to push certain type of agendas. And even with 9/11, I don't know if anybody still believes that 9/11 wasn't an inside job. It was, but if I don't know if that is like most people think that. I mean, I know people that I know do, but I don't know if everybody else does. Like, this isn't something is something that is unusual to America, for them to do things like this to incite a reaction out of the people or to control the people. So, and that's definitely what's going on here. And white tea people are the easiest to manipulate when it comes to things like this. The easiest to manipulate. But let me keep going. I'll go to Miss Chrissy Baby and then Miss Klonda.
Okay, I'm driving. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the conspiracy theory part. I'm usually a logical thinker and I like to look at facts, but um, we're black women, we're pretty educated and we can understand pattern recognition too. I think that most of Project 2025 have been completed. I'm not sure if anybody read that before the elections or whatever, but the one thing that haven't really been fulfilled is the martial law aspect and the thesis. And I can't recall if somebody can recall the name of the man that was studying Black resilience. I here's my theory. I think there's been a very I think misogyny was always here, but I feel like the past few years it's been extremely heightened. And for me, it just feels like there's an assault on Black women. And Black women, as far as the political landscape of things, or even activism, we are the number one go-to person when it comes to stuff like that. As far as education, we're exceeding the whole classes in America as far as being educated. I still haven't put that together, but I totally, even what Charlie Kirk said about Black women, educated Black women, I feel like there's been an agenda to isolate Black women, honestly. I think the grifters and all that stuff is intentional. For what, I don't know. I guess I would just want to say we should be really putting our heads on a swivel, build community with each other in real life, protect yourselves, if you know what I mean. Because I really think they're going to weaponize this situation for something more diabolical, in my opinion. Just the way that happened. I mean, I'm military. I think I have enough education, or ex-military. I think I have enough education to say that 200 yards with that small target through a crowd of people, that's somebody with a lot of training and a lot of skill, and just not no entry level hunter that get deer on the weekend. You know what I mean? As far as Princella, again, it ties into what I say. I feel like there's something going on, and I'm just using just common sense and pattern recognition. There's something going on with these grifters. There's something that's very, like, I feel like there's a magnifying glass for whatever reason on Black women, to the point where even our community is turning on us by Black men. Um, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that holds in the future. I'm just saying, maybe educate yourself if you're not into politics or not into the policies that's in place by the Heritage Foundation. I would really start reading that. I mean, I have confidence that Black women are already up on game on this, or whatever. But if you haven't, probably read on that and protect yourself. And sorry, I'm driving. It's a lot of traffic, so I'm sorry if I was rambling. But okay, that's all I had to say.
Oh, no problem, Miss Chrissy, baby. No, you weren't rambling. I appreciate you, and I understood exactly what you were saying. I'm gonna go. Well, Gabrielle said you had something to say. Gabrielle, I can give you 1 minute because I got to get up here to the last three ladies. Or did you want to wait until they were done?
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, I can just wait and let them go and then just like go when it's my turn. That's totally fine.
Okay, no problem. I got you. All right, let me go up here to Kalandra. Go ahead, Kalandra.
For me, I don't have any empathy for Charlie Kirk. As a public school teacher who every time a student walks out of my classroom, I have to make sure my door is locked. And every time I hear a loud noise, I be scared. I don't have any empathy for a person who said some people unaliving is worth it for you to keep your Second Amendment. I'm sorry, but I do not. 3 kids, however, were popped at a Colorado school yesterday. So I do pray that those children are okay. For me, with Princella, I do think large content creators are going with the conservative agenda due to the current administration in office. I don't support Black people who are conservative because they think you're DEI too. And I don't support things like that. And I feel like for me, when it comes to compassion and empathy, if you only have compassion for people that you feel like value and you pick and choose who you have compassion for, I think you're an evil and demented person as well. I don't feel like we should be the bigger person. I mean, like I said in the comments several times, Donald Trump ran with a hateful rhetoric several times, pardoned people who had Confederate flags, and he won the presidency. They're not bigger people, so why do we always have to be the bigger person? For me, I'm not going to be the bigger person. I'm not God, so for me, I don't have to feel empathy or compassion for anybody because you don't feel that for kids getting popped. He didn't feel that for people getting popped in classrooms. So why do people have to feel like that for him? And I do think it's a conspiracy theory going on to cover up the things that is going on in the Trump administration. But yeah, Charlie Kirk is a hateful person. And for people to get up here, and I just want to say something about free speech. First of all, the First Amendment is between you and the government. That does not give you the right to spread hate. But like I said, when you're living in a country with people who have third grade reading levels, they see freedom of speech and they think that that means that you can say whatever. And for me, I personally do not subscribe to that. Like I said, this is my thoughts on Charlie Kirk. And even for me, I do consider myself a liberal, but I don't support YT liberals because even seeing Dean get up there and cry and stuff, you don't cry when it's other people who are in marginalized groups and the things that they're going through. So for me, it depends for me, but as somebody who does keep up with politics, but free speech is between you and the government. That does not give you the right to say hateful rhetoric about anybody. He was a hateful person and he spewed his hate just like this current administration. And to Black people who are defending him, you're a disgusting person. They think of you as a DEI. This man literally said things about the Civil Rights Act. And like I have always said, Black people nowadays, I really think it's very sad when you're defending the people that worked hard for your ancestors because you never had to go through some of the things that your ancestors went through. And the fact that that man criticized the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and I'm not going to say MLK probably didn't have some bad parts about him, but at the end of the day, that man risked his life for the betterment of people. And for me as a parent in a public school classroom who worries that if someone came to my high school and popped it up and that my son wouldn't have a parent, that is a problem. And the Appalachian school, one of the teachers popped last year, he left behind 2 people. And every time people are popped at schools, we don't lower flags for them. We have normalized school pupils. So no, he is the cause of what he said to keep the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Kalandra. I think that you said a lot of things that were straight facts. Like, and I'm on the same type of time. I just feel like as Black people, we gotta stop We gotta stop. We gotta stop with this, like with like I said, with giving grace to others that don't even care if your children pass away. Like, and that sounds, visceral. It should cause a visceral reaction. It should sound violent because that's exactly what it is. Like, uplifting in any way, even in a small way, a man that would look at your children and think that they don't even deserve to be alive is crazy. And regardless on if he said those words, exactly what he says means exactly that. But let me keep going to naturally and then true Jim. Go ahead, naturally. I'll start your timer for you. Let me send your request to turn your mic on. You there, natural?
I am. Thank you so much. Good morning, Triggered. I really appreciate you having me on. I'm not going to be long. I guess my biggest thing, and it's been said a million times about him saying that unalivings have to happen to keep a society. So it confuses me so much by the people saying that, oh, you shouldn't be taken out for your opinion. You shouldn't be taken out for your opinion. When his opinion directly, he would be okay with his unaliving directly from the opinion that he gave. And then my other thing to that is we're all adults and we know that opinions are not based in fact, or they're not supposed to be. It's some things that I know that we can have an opinion on that people would disagree with, but we absolutely know is true. But what if that opinion that you have is a detriment to a society of people? I mean, this man, like, look how Trump is like posting him and everything. Like, he gave hate speech. So it confuses me so much where people say like, oh, you shouldn't be taken out for your opinion or whatever, when that opinion could hurt a lot of people. I mean, the kinds of things that he put out, and then I keep seeing that he was debating like college kids or something like that. So he's even like debating people with, impressionable minds, and like I don't know, it's so confusing to me. I think that plays into number 4 as well, because again, with the opinion that he had about the Second Amendment, if it were to happen to me, he wouldn't care. He would say, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen to keep the society. So I'm so confused by other people's opinion of this. And that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for this beautiful platform, Trigger. I really appreciate you.
Oh, no problem, sis. No problem, sis. I definitely agree with you, and thanks for coming up. It's always good to see you. I'm gonna go over here next to a true Jim. I'll start your timer. Go ahead, sis. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on. You there, a true Jim?
Trey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, ladies, thanks for having me up. I'm gonna make it quick too. I don't give a damn about Charlie Kirk. I don't care about him checking up out of here. That man has said some of the most hateful, vile, disgusting things ever, and it's blowing me how they're trying to make him a martyr right now. How you got all these news channels, you got people crying and, oh my God, think of his wife and his kids. I don't give a damn, because the thing, especially for Black folks, the stuff that he said about us, the things that he said about civil rights, things that he said about, remember a few months ago he made that comment about, if I saw a Black pilot, I would have to wonder, like, what, sir, you dropped out of community college, okay? I don't care. He died in the same hate that he put out. Nobody cares. I don't care about his mama, his daddy, wife, kids. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. And I'm with Kalandra on this one. We always expect to be the bigger people. I'm tired of being the bigger people. I don't want to. I don't want to. You put that out there, you lived in that, you died in that, and I could not care less. No sympathy here. My day will go on, and good riddance to bad rubbish. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for having me up, Trig. I love your content. I listen all the time, and yeah, thanks for having me up.
No problem, sis. I appreciate you coming up, and appreciate you expressing your opinion. I unfortunately I agree, and I think the same way. Like I said, I today I am being uncharacteristically of one thought, because I just feel like as a black person, you should only have one thought. I understand that that's not true, that there are some black people that have a different thought in this, but I feel like they're on the wrong side. I feel like if you are not on the side of, you know what I'm saying, indifference, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you gotta like revel in this man's passing or whatever, or be up there celebrating it. That's up to you if you do that. But I am on the side of indifference. Why would you care? Why would you be defending him? Why? Like I said, I was even upset at people even mentioning anything even remotely positive about the man. Even saying that some of the things that he said made sense, because it's like, would if there was a man that was molesting children, would you ever say that there is something, he'd be right about some things. I know he'd be touching on them kids, but he'd be right about some things. Like, you would never say that. You would never say that, because the idea of molesting is so reprehensible to most people that you can't even wrap your mind around it. And that right there is something that needs to be unpacked, because the fact that you could do that with a person that is violently racist to your people means that in some part of your mind, you view racism as less reprehensible as child molestation. And it's not. It's equally as bad. It's equally as terrible. It's equally as horrible. So if you wouldn't agree with Schmittler, if you wouldn't agree with the child molester, there's no way you should agree with anything that Charlie Kirk had to say. And even if there is something that you thought, publicly saying it is wild. It's wildly inappropriate as a black person, truthfully. And once again, I really say that is the reason why a lot of white people feel like they can do whatever they want, is because so many black people give them a humanity and give them a grace that is never reciprocated. And it's the same reason why, you know what I'm saying, these white people stand in front of your way and block you and do all of these things. Like, that's why I'm so glad that I haven't been in a position like that, because I'm going to go ahead and take the charge, because I don't care if you 60. I don't care if you are, you know what I'm saying, a teen. You're getting these hands regardless. You know what I'm saying? And my husband teases me about this. This happened to me probably 13 years ago, y'all. I was driving, right? It was late at night. This was back when I used to do hair. I was driving, and I'm talking about, this lady was old white lady. She was she had to be in her 80s, maybe even her 90s. Like, she was really old. She looked like the old lady from the Golden Girls, the old mom. I think her name was Estelle Getty or something like that. She was that old, and she had the little, white gray wig on with the little glasses, and she was real small and hunched over. But anyway, I was driving. Me and her, we were both side by side each other. We pulled off, and she hit my car. So she drove into it. So she scraped the side. And we pulled over. And as we pulled over, she was like, "Yeah, you hit my car. You hit my car." I was like, "No, you hit mine." But there was no damage on the car because we had just pulled off. So she kept calling me sister over and over again, like sister, sister, sister. And she kept poking me in my shoulder. But because she was so old and so fragile, it didn't even feel like she was doing anything, because like I said, she was she was old. And so we were having this situation. I'm telling this old lady, "Hey, bro, you're the one that hit my car. You know what I'm saying? What do you..." So a black man, and I think he looked like Arab or something like that. They came out of this business, and they were asking the old white lady what was wrong. And I was telling them she hit my car. And so the black man instantly went into this protection mode to the old lady. And even while she was pushing me in front of them, she was poking me and trying to push me. But like I said, she was so old, it wasn't doing anything. I was just looking at her whatever. And I remember at that time, I told myself I would never, ever, ever do that again, because the black man took the old white tea lady side. You know what I'm saying? And the Arab man did too, even though they saw her she was like, the way she was calling me sister, I think she wanted to say something else, if y'all get my drift. And they saw her like pushing me and poking me and stuff. And I just remember saying to myself, like, I would never, because I gave that old lady a grace that she wasn't giving me. And I remember being upset because I called the black man a coon. I did. I called him a coon. I called him a punk. I said, look at you. You over here trying to protect this white woman, and you not even trying to stand behind your people. Because that was really when I was on my pro-black stuff. I'm no longer on that anymore. Y'all already know that I'm pro-black woman. Black men have done far too much for me to ever defend them publicly again. But I remember all of that. And I just remember being like, I will never do that again. So if anybody wonders why I'm so passionate about this and not giving white people grace, is because I know that probably seems like it wasn't a big deal, but I truly felt dehumanized in that moment, just because she hit my car, the way she was coming at me, the way she was putting her hands on me. And I only excused it because she was old, because I was taught to respect my elders, and she was old. And if I had knocked her block off, you know what I'm saying, I would have killed her because she was that old. And I had even called the police. And I called the police during this whole incident. And this, I will never forget, it was a white man that answered the phone. And I was telling him everything that was going on. And he heard her screaming in the background. He was like, well, can you get out of there? And I was like, yeah, I just wanted to call you. I'm going to give you my license plate so you don't think that, like, I ran away from the scene of an accident, but I'm going to go ahead and go. And he was like, cool. He was like, and he told me, because he could see that I was getting mad. He was like, yeah, just go ahead and leave, even though she's putting her hands on you, you know, because I was telling him the story. He was like, don't do anything to her because she's really old. If something happens, you could still get in trouble. And so, you know, I ended up just leaving. Nothing ever came of that whole situation, but I just made a mental note to myself, like, to like never ever extend white people grace in any way. And I just don't do it. Like, and it's not because I'm a hateful person. It's just because, at what point do you stand up and get some balls and be like, these people would never do it for us? How dumb do you look when you keep doing it? It's just like I mentioned earlier with Botham Jean, how that lady unalived that man, and the black judge gave her a Bible, and then the man's brother, who she had unalived, he over there hugging her. Like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Do you think that white people would do that? No, no, no. So it's just like, you know, anyway, let me go down here to Gabrielle. And then I'm about to ask somebody else up too. But go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, I have so much to say about this. I really do just want to drive home the point that just because somebody is unalived or, you know, murdered, that doesn't make them a good person. I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. Like, there's this idea that just because someone died or happened to pass away, that it's like all of a sudden people want to play revisionist history and say, oh, well, in this interview, he was so polite and it's like, no, like, overwhelmingly, if you tally the good versus the bad, if the bad outweighs the good, then that kind of speaks for itself. And like, even on my Instagram, like, I posted openly saying, like, I don't care that he's dead. I'm glad he's dead. He was a terrible person. He said that he would force his own daughter to carry like a baby to term if she was, you know, sexually assaulted. And there was like, I think she was a lady. I think it was a lady. But yeah, anyway, she commented, she's saying, she was like, oh, well, it's okay to like have debates, but no one deserves to be murdered. And I said, okay, well, we're just going to have to like, I just said we're going to have to disagree on that, with like a laughing emoji at the end. And then she commented again. And then she's like, oh, so you're saying he deserved to be assassinated? I told her flat out, yes. Like, YES. Yes, that's all I said to her. And then I guess she got mad because she like blocked me and like deleted her comments or whatever. But it's like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that just because you die or get, you know, assassinated, that does not mean that you lived a life, you know, that was worth, you know, being honored and, you know, being spoken about, you know, fondly. Like, a lot of people say, oh, don't speak ill of the dead. But it's like, no, if you were a terrible person in life, then when you pass away, people have a right to talk about that and to call you out for it. And like, I've been scrolling through TikTok, and I actually have come across videos of a bunch of people who have been calling out Charlie Kirk. I'm sure it's probably my algorithm. So I've just been scrolling through and like liking those videos. But I mean, for the people who, like, I agree with you. You said, like, even just saying, oh, I agreed with him on this and this or whatever. It's like, even if you did agree with him on certain select issues, I really do think that should not be publicly stated, because he doesn't deserve any kind of grace, because like I said, he was objectively a terrible person, and that does not change just because somebody took a shot at him. And I do think it was like a professional shot because like I watched that video like a bunch of times in a row, and it looks like they got him in like the carotid artery, and they did it only with like one clean shot. And someone was saying they did it from like 200 feet away from like the rooftop of a building. So that's definitely, to me, someone who sounds like I don't know, like CIA, ex-military, Black Ops, B613 from Scandal, whatever. But I definitely do think that I don't think it was just like some disgruntled guy, just like sitting in his basement. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he got what he deserved. He was a terrible person. And it's not even just that he was a bad person, but he took pleasure in being a terrible person. Like, I follow politics so closely. I've been following it so closely for the past decade. And so I would see these like little clips of his like Charlie Kirk show where he would be talking about like women needing to submit and do all of this. And he just had this stupid, smug look on his face. Like he was enjoying what he was saying, knowing the implications of what he was saying. And I'm not going to lie, I'm glad that less than 24 hours ago, somebody permanently, wiped that smirk off his face. Like he will never smirk or put out bile again. And, it is what it is. And whatever comes from it, comes from it. But if we're being honest, the United States has been cooked for a while, especially after, November 5th, 2024. And so, I mean, like, after that, I really have not seen a bunch of paths for the country to come back from, division. So yeah, I don't care that he's dead. I'm glad he's gone. And it's a net positive for humanity. And I will land there.
All right. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. Let me go up here to Dark Truth. And then I'll go to Maria, and then I'll go to T. Go ahead, Dark Truth. You there? Oh shoot, I think I muted you by accident. Let me send your request to turn it back on. You there? You got it? Oh shoot. Let's see here. I sent you a request to turn it on. Can you turn it on? Okay, yeah. Cause I hit it 2 times. All right,
There
yeah,
you
go
go.
ahead. Yep.
I actually requested to come up by accident, but since I'm up here, I was going to say, yeah, I share the same view as everybody else. So I don't have any empathy for him. I think he did get what he deserved. He put out a lot of hate, and he received that in return. So I just consider that he reaped what he sowed. I know when I got on earlier, when I was on my way to work, I saw a lot of people on TikTok. One of them was Dana Dane, and then people trying to give their whole why are we showing sympathy thing, which I think is ill placed because why do we need to show sympathy for somebody who wouldn't show sympathy for us or empathy? Um, I mean, yeah, that's about it when it comes to all of that. And like I said, I just think he got what he deserved in all of this. That's another thing I want to say. In regards to like a lot of people who trying to make it seem like he's a good guy and that he's a good a Christian man, because I've seen some people from pastors and stuff speak on it, which I find to be crazy. Seeing how he did nothing but talk hate throughout his whole campaign. He didn't do nothing but put down black people throughout his whole campaign. But yet they want to praise this man and make him to be. I think I heard somebody call him a saint at that. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. I got you. Appreciate you, babe. All right. Let me go down here to Maria, and then we'll get Miss T Scorpio. Let me send your request to turn your mic on. You there, Maria?
Yeah, I'm here. This whole situation is very ironic because the last question that a person had asked, okay, was about gun control. And to get taken out for something that you was protecting, I felt bad to see it happen. But on that same day, there was a school shooting. So what make it more important than his life is more important that it's all over the news compared to the school shooting that happened yesterday. And it's like, so we're not caring about the children? Do we not care about the children? Do we not care about me as a person going to the grocery store, getting basically taken out, going to church, getting taken out, going any place else that's public and getting taken out, but yet you wanted to protect something that you're so passionate for and then get taken out by something that you was rooting for. And I can't feel guilty for what everybody else is feeling, Okay, when you use hate to spread more hate, it's not gonna, like, it's not going to come back as positive as you think it is. Okay, yes, I understand he was a father, a husband and stuff, but what happened to those people who were also brothers, sisters, cousin, somebody else? What made his life more important than theirs? So I think they need to come together and find some type of solution to make gun laws very strict, because this is not working out and people are getting very emotional by this, that they're gonna harm, God forbid, they're gonna harm somebody else out there. So that I gonna land my plane there.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. I got you, Maria. Let me go down here to Miss T Scorpio.
Oh yeah, like I said, to me, I'm not surprised that he's racist because, like I said, I live in reality and I suspect all of them to be racist, especially if they're in politics. Honestly speaking, he's a representation of the average white teen man walking around in the United States amongst us. Honestly speaking, I'm more happy that he's actually out in the open with it. And I'm happy of the things that he was saying out loud so black people can hear it, because you still have black people in la la land thinking that, oh, not all of them are racist. Not, no, 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 no. You need to hear the truth. You need to live in reality. You, as a black person, especially you as a black woman, you should live in reality and hear him and hear white teen men like him, that he exists. He's amongst y'all. He could be your kid's teacher. He could be your doctor. He's your dentist. He's your neighbor. He's the guy to drive the bus. He's the guy that's like I said, that's giving you medicine. He's your local pharmacist. These are the white tea Americans that is amongst us. And I'm, like I said, I'm more happy that they are out in the fucking open. If I'm gonna just keep it a buck. If I'm gonna keep it a buck, because the less silenced they are, the more black people think that, oh, racism just disappeared. Oh my God, look how racist he is. Where y'all been? Racism has always been here and it's gonna continue to be here. As long as white tea people exist, it will still be here, especially in a position of power. It's not going anywhere. If black people think that they are going to liberate, I'm trying to say the word right and I can't right now, eliminate racism out of this country, I'm sorry, that is not reality. They will be racist to the end of, until there's no more America. They will be. Now my thing is, what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? We're gonna keep begging them to get along with them. We're gonna beg them for rights. Oh, he's putting down other types of group of people. That don't mean I'm gonna align myself with those people. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna align myself with other groups of people because of this white tea man is showing his racism versus the other group of people that align himself with his type of thought process, but they're smiling in my face. No, I'm not gonna lie myself with every different groups of people. No, I'm not. And y'all already know how I feel about the T community. I'm not lying myself with them. No, I don't care. They on their own. No, I'm not lying myself with those type of people. I'm not, because they contribute to the oppression of women too. They contribute to it. All these groups of people contribute to oppressing black people. And because of this white tea people saying it out in the open, pointing out the bad guy, we supposed to join hands with them and say we're going to fight against racism. No, I'm not going to join myself with them, because at the end of the day, they're not on my side either. They're not on my side either. So I am not mad when I hear a guy like Charlie talking his bullshit. We need to hear this. Stop thinking with T. I can't say the word. Trans. I'm gonna just say it like that. That's it. I'm gonna say it one time. I'm sorry, Trig. I just say it one time. Like I said, we need to hear more white people like this. Because I think there's a lot more black people that's in denial that this is how white people feel about them versus the white people that don't. And I'm sorry, if I'm gonna be honest with you, the feeling is mutual. How the way white tea racist people feel about me, I feel about them. I don't want to come together. I don't want to live amongst them. I don't want to be around them. So when I did hear Charlie Sheen say, I don't live amongst black people, I said, shit, I don't want to live around you either. Why would I want to live around force a racist white person to love me? No, I'm not doing that. In my personal opinion, we should stay get the fuck away from them. Honestly speaking, let them go their own separate fucking corners. Honestly speaking, why would I want to put myself in more risk of danger of being around them than speaking about being further away from them? I'm sorry. Let them say all they hate. Let these white people say all the hate that they want to say. Not what they want to say, but let black people hear them. Because black people, especially black women, we out here on our own. That's the reality we gotta face. We are out here. We are out here alone. And y'all need to know that it's more enemies than it's our friends. And that is what people don't want to face. So I'm not mad at Charlie Sheen what the fuck he said. Honestly speaking, no. Y'all need to know there's more white people like him. Y'all need to know that. And there's more white women like him too.
All right. I appreciate you, T. Let me go up here to Nyla.
Greetings.
Hey.
So I wanted to, I saw these topics. These are some great topics. So I want to just clarify, is this Princella, the young unicorn, the unicorn woman, he, she that we're talking about?
No, I was talking about Princella the Queenmaker.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So I've had my thoughts on her, and let me just first address, rest in peace to all the 9/11 victims that passed for nothing today, because it was all propaganda. But in regards to Princella, and I agree with the young lady that just spoke, we don't need to be around them. I feel very safe when I'm amongst my own. I just will be honest. But Princella, I have been looking at a few of her posts, and at first I was attempting, I was trying to read her, I was trying to follow her, I was trying to really get what her agenda was. And when it really all shook out and I heard her, because she flip-flops on subjects, I just felt like, okay, she's an agent. Because there's no way, and no respect to the LGBT community, but there's no way a woman with that type of confusion in her life can tell me anything. 1 minute she's for women, but she can't make a queen if she's in her male, stance. And I just think a lot of times, women, we want to be acknowledged, especially black women. And I saw the post with the young lady that just went off about everything that's being said about black women. But from the Candace Owenses to the Princellas to a lot of these women that get on these internet streets and they spew confusion, I don't have respect for. And I wouldn't understand why she would be defending a Charlie Kirk. But again, I can also appreciate a Charlie Kirk for not wearing a hood and not wearing a mask and allowing us to see who he truly is. But again, I think what we all collectively are seeing is what the famous Malcolm X said: the chickens are coming home to roost. And I don't think that in the sense of, because I'm looking at all of your topics, which are really great. We as black people have been taught Stockholm syndrome in a way, because we try to achieve this glass ceiling of achievements that they keep putting in place to keep holding us back. And so I think that more women like us who don't follow the ideology are not followers, because, it's this whole follow and like and click and share. And so a lot of times we'll change our agenda or what we think to get popularity. And I have to say, popularity is not a good thing. This man just got pum-pumed like a JFK assassin. This is what it felt like, when my parents were coming up and JFK got assassinated, even though he was aligned with Black people. This was something that I felt like was something for propaganda and to usher in something else, which I really don't know. I'm not a political person. I don't profess to be knowledgeable, but I have been following him. And, when I heard him, I didn't even know I didn't remember who he was, because just from a few of his first posts that I saw when he came into public view,
I'll give you 2 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't know who he was. So, I just think that, okay. Yeah. I just think that, we need to collectively just be more intelligent as far as like what we read and see on these posts. Thank you. My time is up.
No problem, no problem. I appreciate you, sis. Let me go down here to Gabrielle and then Mr. Kingsley. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, I would just say, and this is just my opinion, I think anybody who is, defending Charlie Kirk, I really think it should be a no-go, whether it's a content creator, whether it's someone that is like someone you've known in real life, because, and I know Nyla said she wasn't super political, but like I really have been extremely locked into the political world for, like I said, I've been following it for the past decade since I was, 17 years old. I've been writing about it since I was like roughly 18, 19. And there really has, over the years, there has been an extreme shift in the right wing and in right-wing commentators like Charlie Kirk, and how these people speak about issues, about different groups of people. And so I think in 2025, anyone who is, still, defending Charlie Kirk or getting mad at people for saying that they don't care that he died, I really do think those people should be avoided, because at the end of the day, this is not like a political thing of, oh, do you think the tax rate should be 15% or 20%? I mean, Charlie Kirk is objectively on the record making reprehensible statements, and and this is just my opinion, I just think anyone who is defending him, whether they're white tea, whether they're BLK or whatever, like, I definitely wouldn't want them in my orbit. I definitely would not associate with that. Like, a lot of people have talked about like unfollowing, because I've been like scrolling through TikTok and like getting a bunch of algorithms. I've seen a bunch of people of like all races and like both genders or whatever saying they've been unfollowing people who, have been, like posting like prayers for Charlie Kirk and like trying to whitewash his image. But I just think with the way the political situation is going in the United States, it's so important to be aware of, like the content you are consuming and the people that you're around, because all of that does really impact you on a like subconscious level. I mean, it really, really is an important thing, because like I said, the political scene has already really gotten crazy and like really gotten more extreme, especially on the right wing within the past 5 years. And then like with the Charlie Kirk thing, I mean, that definitely is, just gonna, up the ante even further. Like, I've been following some of the reactions too, and they're like, are like a bunch of like right-wing conservatives saying, oh, we need to declare war, it's over now, this is war, no holding back. Like, these people are, deranged. And, Princella, I mean, like I said, anybody who is defending Charlie Kirk, I just think it's a no-go. And I know a few of the ladies on the chat said, oh, I appreciate Charlie Kirk for, exposing blah, blah, blah. I don't appreciate that man for anything. He was a net negative in every sense of the world. And he really did get what he deserved. And like, honestly, can the person who got Charlie Kirk, can they get Andrew Tate? Can they get Myron? Can they get all of these other like objectively terrible men who do nothing but spread hatred and advocate for, a worse, more unsafe world? But that's just what I think about it, and I will land there.
All right. Appreciate you, Gabrielle. All right, let me go up here to Mr. Kingsley. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you so much, Triggered. I gotta say, man, I'm really going through it right now, because I've seen many lives triggered, and I see more black men flat out defending this guy, being neutral. I am just sitting in my room right now, just being confused. It's almost as if like rose-colored glasses is falling off, and I'm really pissed off. I was on another live, right, and the guys were like trying to understand. They said like, yeah, I agreed with him, but um, I agree with him, but I agree with him on the homophobic side, but I don't agree with him on this side. I'm like, what the hell? You're picking and choosing. You cannot pick and choose. What the hell is going on, man? And I saw a YT guy using this as a way to like invite other YT guys to do like a quote unquote a race war, and I saw YT guys in the comment section like, yeah, I'm in, and then I'm thinking, if these guys are willing to unalive or be unalived for their belief, and on our side we've got black guys who are in the middle or agree with, like, what percentage of us are actually going to fight back? Like, I have many thoughts just running through my mind right now, because what is going on? This guy was flat out objectively bad. There is no middle ground. What middle ground? And I saw a lady now, I had to comment on the comment, like, why are you showing this guy so much empathy? She literally said, oh, but, yes, I don't agree with everything he said, but nobody deserves to be unalived. And I said, you realize this guy has used the unalived rates in the black community to make point. He literally always used the black community as scapegoats. He did this on record. What's going on? And I don't know, man. I worry. I genuinely worry for the community, especially as a black man. I see other communities, how they move, and we are out here being confused. And I've seen black men argue back with black women about why they kind of agree with him or in the middle. Okay, this is in the twilight zone for me, and I'm just trying to understand what the next move would be. Because if we have this kind of people in the community, who then would be able to actually stand up and defend the black community? I rest my case. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm done. Thanks for having me, Triggered. I really do appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you. What I wanted to say, I saw in the comments, like it was black women, talk about black men doing this. Of course, black men are leading the charge in what I've seen in defense, and speaking up, the notable black men that participate in coonery online. But I will say this, and this is something that I say this anytime like Cardi B come up or Erica Mena come up, things like that. But there are a lot of black women that are in the sunken place as well. A lot. I saw a lot of black women on Twitter talking about how can we not feel empathy for this man? Oh, you guys are so wrong. You're going against God by not feeling sorry for this white tea man that would call any black woman stupid if she had any type of job or position. It was plenty of black women. If you want me to keep it a buck, I don't even look. Y'all know that this is very rare that I say something like this publicly, but I saw more black women than black men doing that on Twitter, and I was flabbergasted. Not saying that black men don't do that and they don't be out here engaging in coonery, because we see it all today. We see it all the time. However, I'm saying I saw a lot of black women doing it. And it was really disturbing my spirit. And it's just like when I seen all them black women that attacked me back in the day when Erica Mena had called Spice a monkey. And I said, hey man, y'all got to stop letting people, it was so many, but I would have called her a monkey too. Like, black women also have this sickness as well. You know what I'm saying? Of I don't know if you can't really use the term buck broken, I guess, for women, but it's the same mentality or ideology, if you get what I'm saying. It's plenty of black women that are cool with being under white supremacy. Like I said yesterday, when it was women that was in the chat that was talking about divesting, divestors are another group. And it's not that you can't date out, but it's a mentality that people that their identity is divesting, that put that white man on the pedestal. and say that that white man is the best and he way better than anybody else, and they're gonna be treated like beautiful princesses as long as they get the pale prince of their dreams. You know what I'm saying? As long as they have biracial children of the chalk, everything is gonna be okay. So like I said, there's a problem, and I'm done trying to, save black men. My pro-black days have been over for at least 5 years now, maybe even longer. So I don't even think about black men in the ways to try to stop them from cooning, because I feel like they are beyond saving. Now, of course, this isn't every black man, right? But the collective of black men, I feel like they're beyond saving. However, I do still have hope and faith in black women. And we got to address the fact that there are black women doing this, because when I was on that live yesterday of Princella, how she was defending Charlie Kirk, do you know how many black women I saw in there saying, oh, Princella's right, she got a point, yeah, don't be mad at her for telling the truth? Plenty. So it's just like, man, we gotta get real, man, and realize that I really feel like we need to realize as black people that, first of all, you would never get white people as a collective to see your humanity. They will see in animals the humanity, which they don't even have any because they're not humans, before they see yours. I make a point to look at, like, anytime you see posts of, like, animals being abused, or animals like hurt or harmed, or even an owner yelling at their dog. Like, I didn't see a lady yell at her dog for pooping on the floor. And it ain't even like she was beating the dog. She just said, hey, you're not supposed to yell. You're not supposed to poop on the floor, blah, blah, blah. White people up in arms, white people screaming, I can't believe that. How could you do that? How could you do that to that animal? You don't deserve life. How dare you yell at that animal like that? Or when there's an animal that got ran over by a car or something, or is hurting, I can't believe this. Can't be life. I can't believe this. Oh, these animals, oh my gosh, I can't. Oh. Or if a pit bull bites the face off of a baby, well, I would save my dog any day. Before, I love dogs more than I love kids. I would never in my life. But let a black person, get unalived in the worst way possible, get raped, get abused. They don't give two craps. And the reason why they do not is because they look at black people as less than animals. They don't even give you the humanity that they would put on a dog or a cat. So, in my opinion, what are you defending? Why will you defend people that do not care about you? They can see if your mother, they can see your child laid out in the grass, being harmed, being unalived, and they would do nothing. Just like that video that went viral of those black kids that was drowning, that needed to use a white man's ladder to climb themselves up to get back on the dock, and he didn't even want to do it. He said, go around. He didn't even care if these kids lost their lives. So it's like, at what point do you ever want to show them grace? It's insane to do so at this point. Like, it's insane to do it.
Trigger. You know what I want to ask you?
Yeah.
You said you was on a live, and you said because that's what I was. That's why I stopped on this page, because I really do. I do have an issue with Princella, the Queen Maker. I just, and so when I seen it, I jumped on. But I think, like you said, a lot of women, in the term of buck breaking, what is it like? What has it been, as far as like feeling like if you deal with a YT man, it's the better lifestyle, when history has shown repeatedly they are some of the most dangerous men to even entertain. They will unalive their whole family for money, life insurance, anything. And I had a situation like that with someone that was truly pursuing me. And even though I looked at him as a human being, I still saw his YT-ness. I still could not say, oh, yeah, you can give me everything, because I would say, first it was like, oh, I'll take the money, it's reparations. But then when I really got deep in my spirit about it, and I know that I've never like seeing the Serenas, the Eves, the Tina Turners, you know, these women that crossed over and had and procreated with YT men is because of the cosplay. This gentleman was white, but you know what he kept telling me? I just feel like a white man, a black man in a white man's body. So it's like anytime that somebody is likening or lending or bending or acting like they understand our plight, it's all a cosplay. So
I'll just say this real quick. I don't with Eve. I don't think her husband is cosplaying. He just looks like a regular white guy. I don't see anything wrong with Eve. I don't see anything wrong with Serena either. I think her white husband looks like a regular white guy too. I would say if I would look at somebody that I feel like be cosplaying, it would be somebody like Travis Kelsey, who used
mm,
to date who's
mm,
now with
yeah,
Taylor Swift. He was
yeah,
a cosplayer. And
big
then once he
time,
went back with his own people, you know what I'm saying?
big
He
time.
dropped the cosplay off. But I don't think that see, and I want to make this clear here. I don't think that all white T men, right, that are dating or marrying black women are wrong. I don't think that, but I think as a collective, just the same way we look at black men collectively, or we look
Mm,
at men collectively and we look at their behavior, we have to
mm,
look at white T people collectively as well, because look at what they do. Look at what they have done
right,
historically. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But the
right.
only reason why I said anything about that is because sometimes with black women, when we black women will say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to talk to white." Which me personally, I'm not attracted to white T people. I like white T men at all.
Yeah,
I don't see the beauty in them. I do see beauty in other races of people besides black men,
yeah,
but just not them. But that's just my thoughts and opinions on it.
yeah.
But I don't think that there's anything wrong with black women dating out. But I do think that when we have these thoughts, that sometimes people will be like, "Oh, well, it's these black women dating out, and look at what these white men do." But black men do the same thing statistically. Black men put women in the dirt the most. Black men are the most violent to black women. Black women, black men unalive the most, beat the most, abandon the most to black women. All of these things happen in our community way more than they happen in other communities. So it's like I always implore black women not to try to shame them for dating out, because I don't think there's anything wrong with black women dating out, even dating white tea men if they want, even though that's not my cup of tea. I just think that you have to judge all men as of one accord, because men in general are responsible for everything.
Everything.
90% plus of all unalivings are committed by men in the United States. 99.1% of all forcible rape in the United States is committed by men. And all crimes and all violent crimes, the majority are committed by men. So it's just like, I would
Yes.
rather, as opposed to black women say, "Hey, I'm not going to be with this guy or that guy or this race of man or that race of man." As far as when it comes to romance, I would just say that they should vet everybody specifically. You know what I mean? Because that each man individually that they come across, and not just,
Trigger.
you know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
I trigger. I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. Let me know.
I'm gonna just say this. I do believe, yeah, there is a high percentage rate of black men with domestic violence and unaliving women. But I do believe if we could just go down a rabbit hole and look at other cultures, but more specifically YT men, and I'm just more of a loyalist to my race. I'm from Oakland. I'm a Black Panther at heart. So I believe, like I said, I used to have this thing like love who you love. Love who you love. It doesn't matter about the color or whatever. But I do see, like you made a good point. Travis Kelsey, he definitely cosplayed. But I just think when women cross that line, as far as like I would date any other culture outside of a YT man. I'm agreeing with you with that. But the only thing that I would say is that I do believe there is more violence, domestic violence, and unaliving within the YT community than said black community. They just don't show it. They just don't talk about it. They brush it
But
under
see
the.
this, but this is what I'm saying when you talk about that. I feel like that minimizes what happens to black women. There was
Oh
literally a black
no,
woman that was
no.
unalived by her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend, her baby daddy, that was stalking her, brought another woman, triangulated
Yeah, I
them
seen that
together.
story.
You
I
know what
saw
I'm
that
saying? And
story. Yeah,
there's stories that I hear about this every day. And
yeah.
regardless of, I don't even like to focus on what white people are doing, right? All we can focus on is what black people are doing. And the numbers show that black men are unaliving black women at a high rate. They are doing that. They're
Absolutely.
assaulting black women at a high
Absolutely.
rate. They're ex-trafficking black women at a high rate. They're doing all of these things at a high rate to black women specifically. So having like an almost a loyalty to black men, in my opinion, when they do not reciprocate that collectively, they don't. It's like almost an insane thing to do, because you're doing the same thing that I'm saying that what black people shouldn't do with white people, which is giving an allegiance to a group of people that do not collectively care about you. It's the same thing with black men. It's not to say that every black man is wrong. I'm married to a black man. He was just up here on the platform. However, what I'm saying is, as a black woman in 2025, to have any type of loyalty or race loyalty to black men collectively when they will never do that for you is really a crazy thing to do as a black woman. The only people that, in my opinion, and this is just if you want, that you should have any type of loyalty to are other black women. But doing
Oh,
that for
yeah, yeah,
black
you
men
know,
is
when I
crazy.
said I'm loyalty, when I said I'm loyal, that's what I meant, because
Okay, okay.
I'm never gonna dismiss the abuse of black men, because I've seen it within my own family and my own experience. So my thing is, I think I'm just in a sense of like, I'm loyal to my black race, but I won't uphold anything that a black man does, because women are most dangerous in are most unsafe in the presence of a black man, as far as black women. So I will never demean any or dismiss anything that us women go through. I'm definitely more loyal to a black woman than I am a black man. So like I said, it doesn't matter as far as like whatever skin cute hue you are, whether you're a lighter tone black American, darker tone black American. We all in some senses have either been the recipient or know somebody that has been the recipient of violence or even unaliving by black men. So I totally agree with you on that. I will never demean that, but I was more so speaking to the point of that. No, we're not concerned. But when we have people like Charlie Kirk that go out his way to give statistics on our culture, on our community, let's look at what you guys do, because you can't point that out when it's happening at a rapid pace with you guys also. So that's really the point I was
Oh, okay, I
making.
got you. I
Yeah, that
got
was
you.
really the point I was making. Hell no. I am, pro woman all day. Like I do believe that, black men have lost their way, and it's unfortunate, but as me being a loyalist to my color and my descendants, that's what I'm talking about, but never dismissing what black women go through at the hands of black men, ever.
I got you. I got you. Now I understand your perspective and what you're coming from. And I do understand what you mean when you mention Charlie Kirk and the statistics, because they do try to make it seem as if black people and more specifically, black men are doing something at a rate that they're not doing. They never talk about the rates of their things, like their high rates of child molestation and abuse.
Exactly.
And yeah, I get what you're
Exactly.
saying. I do. I
Yeah, that's
now
what I'm
now
saying,
I
baby.
clearly understand
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally with you, 100%. That's what I'm saying. They can point out everything that we do, but if we look and if we go down the rabbit hole of the SSA and let's even go deeper. The what is that? Ancestral bloodline that they have. It's ancestral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
These
I get
men,
you.
yeah, that these men will go with their daughters. The mothers will know. They'll go with their grandfathers. The mothers will know. I'm telling you from what I know, not what I think. I was in jail for like 6 months, and most of the community in there were white women. And do you know what a lot of them were telling me? That their grandfathers were molesting them. Their grandfathers, their fathers, their uncles. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said statistically, a Charlie Kirk cannot point his finger at our community when they have such viciousness and predatory behavior within their own community.
All right. I got you. I got you. Yeah. I now I get what you're saying. At first I didn't understand where you were
No,
going,
it's all,
but
it's all
I
good.
understand
Yeah,
now.
it's all love.
All right, sis. All right, let me go up here to Miss Chrissy baby. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy baby.
Hey, oh my God, I just finally got home. Um, I think I just still want to zero in on facts over feelings. We really need to see the climate of the vitriol going towards Black women. I wouldn't even personally in 2025 with the rate of I mean, I know every other day you're seeing women and children, hey, repost this, so and so is missing. The majority of the faces I see is Black children and Black women. and they're not finding them alive. You know what I mean? I even would say dating right now, proceed with cautions. I'm choosing not to because it's a little too crazy right now. But if you are, I totally am all for go where you're loved. I don't think Black women owes anyone, I say again, any human being on the planet any loyalty because no one shows us any grace or loyalty collectively. Name a group of people that really ride hard for us publicly. Name one demographic. Not one. So I don't think we should have any we shouldn't obfuscate any of the issues that come our way and really focus on ourselves. I think issues that come our way and really focus on ourselves. I think protecting yourselves, getting yourself trained to pew pew, making sure your home is protected accordingly. There's a rise, um, making sure your home is protected accordingly. There's a rise. I mean, I know I felt it. I probably maybe once or twice a month getting cussed out by some irate, unhinged, dude or whatever, just pumping gas or doing whatever. So there's been a rise in violence. There's a rise in femicide. We know there's Charlie Kirks, but everyone hate us. And I
Miss
know that's a
Chris.
hard.
Oh, sorry. I was just so she can finish. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Okay. Um, I know it's a hard pill to swallow. But again, I'm going to ask the way we show our loyalty and grace, and well, who's doing that for Black women collectively en masse on a public scale? Nobody. So I think we need to really join community, look out for children, stay safe. I think we should turn our backs on everybody. Personally, that might be extreme, but that's how I operate. If you don't got my back, I'm like, F you. Like, get away from me. And I'm just not seeing the protection when it comes to Black women on a collective basis. I don't even think I would even trust anyone that you never seen speak up and speak good to you, because the only ones that really lift each other up is Black women. And we really need to take it seriously and look out for each other, because it might start getting crazy. I think there's going to be retaliation after all of this. And again, we've been public enemy number one this whole year. I don't think that's by coincidence. I think that's by design to isolate us.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like I said, you guys, I've been going live now for 3 hours, so I'm definitely finna end this live, okay? But I just wanted to say, if anybody takes anything from this live as a Black woman or even as a Black man, I just want you to stop. When you decide to make a move in defense of YT people or in defense of a person that you know that would not reciprocate that same thing, that they would rejoice if you or your family or your children was shot down, I really would like you to look in the mirror at yourself and realize that you have been conquered. And that is not to insult you. It's just to tell you the truth. You have been conquered, and you have to figure out how to get away from that mental state of conquering and domination that YT people have put on you without even having to actually enslave you. That's a scary thing, because right now you have the freedom of choice. You have the freedom of everything. You even have a phone that can give you a whole lot of information and inform yourself on your history, your ancestors' history, what you've gone through, what other Black people across the diaspora are going through at the hands of YT people. And for you to ever place yourself in a position of defense against them, really, in my opinion, is insane. Black man, Black woman, whoever. And also, this is something that I really want to say. I understand that Black people have this deep sense of fairness and what's right and what's wrong, but to give any type of, to extend fairness or to extend some type of, oh, I can see their position to somebody that would never give that to you, is also insane. That's why I mentioned all the examples about, like, you know, Schmittler and you saying that, oh, you can see some of Schmittler's perspectives, or you can see some of the perspectives of a child molester. You would never do that, right? You would never say that. You would never publicly say, hey, I see their point, or I agree with some of the things that they say, because you would know that that's a crazy thing to do, because what the type of behavior that that person has engaged in is reprehensible, right? So if you are able to do that when you see people that are violently racist against your own people, that lets you know that somehow, in some way, shape, or form or fashion, in your mind, in your heart, in the deepest part of your soul, you don't feel like being racist against Black people and people that look like yourself is that bad. And that's scary, because being racist is just as bad as being a child molester, is just as bad as being a serial unaliver. It's on the exact same type of time. Do you know how many people have used their racism to unalive Black women, Black men, Black boys, Black girls? Do you know this? Do you know that they had one of the youngest people to ever be put in the electric chair? I think he was either 13 or 14, was accused of doing something that he didn't even do. Of course, he was exonerated posthumously decades upon decades later. But this is what I'm saying. Like, people that could do things like that to you, to your child, to put him in an electric chair to where he was so small that they had to put books underneath him to get him to be able to fit underneath the electric chair. You think for a moment that you should think that racism, because all of these things were done underneath the umbrella of racism and discrimination. So any type of white tea person that decides to make their whole brand about racism and discrimination is that type of person. They are that type of violent. They are a danger to you. They are just as bad as a child molester. They are just as bad as a serial unaliver. So you should never be agreeing with anything they have to say. You should never say anything that they had any type of point publicly, because that means that you're okay with it. And that's really all I have to say. And that's the reason why I have such a strong reaction to it, because it means that there's still work that you need to do inside yourself, that you feel like one thing is more acceptable than the other, because that should never be acceptable to you at all, because it is a threat to your survival. Racism is a threat to your very survival. And also, if you have children, it is a threat to the survival of your children, because whitey people do not look at Black children as children. They don't. That's the same reason why that video that went viral of those kids that were coming up, I think they were selling Girl Scout cookies or chocolate bars, that they were like 9 years old. That white tea man said, oh, if you guys get away from my porch, I'll blow your brains out. I'll blow your brains out. He saw that they were little kids. He saw they were little babies, but he did not care, because he saw the skin color before he saw anything else, and they were not human to him. So that's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Zion, the GOAT, you hit laugh emojis. Did you mean to hit those? Because please tell me what's funny. Anyway, all I'm saying is that that's all I want anyone to take out of this. It's not that I'm mad at anybody. I'm just saying you've got to unpack that. And like I said, everybody has some type of form of self-hatred, especially as a Black person living in the United States. It's impossible, because white people have embedded that into society and found some way to subconsciously brainwash you. And the only way to get out of that self-hatred is to actively unpack it. And to any facet that you see that may point to that, to work on it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, oh, okay, I got you. Y'all was laughing at Princella. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Oh wait, Gabrielle, you're the last one standing. Did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to close it out by saying I really do agree with everything you said. And I do agree that, at the end of the day, we really should not be giving any empathy or grace to Charlie Kirk or anyone who, thought like him or is like defending him. Like, I was surprised to see some of the ladies in the chat saying that they felt bad for him and they felt empathy for him. Like, he objectively does not deserve it. Like, he really doesn't. Like, he really did spend his life and his career advocating for a worse world for basically everyone. So it's like the empathy that you say you feel for him, he would not reciprocate even a fraction of that. So I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you were saying, Trigger. With I think it was Miss Chrissy Baby who came up and she was saying that we need to focus on like protecting ourselves individually, and there shouldn't be a collective loyalty to any group or demographic of people. I definitely agree with that. And like I said, anyone who is defending Charlie Kirk, I really think it should just be like a no-go and they should just be written off, because it's the way that things are going, like the discernment of who we're spending time with and the content we're taking in and just the energy we're letting into our lives, it really does have to just like be on high alert. So yeah, I'll just land with that.
All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. And I just wanted to say one more thing. You guys, if anybody's in here that be in my lives a lot, y'all know how I feel about Janine Just a Girl. I mention her often as like a very dangerous pick-me. Another woman, the real Jane, I feel like she's also a dangerous pick-me. And oftentimes I mention them. I also believe that Princella, the queen maker, which is so stupid because she's not making any queens. All she's making are fools. But Princella is a very dangerous, destructive, mentally unstable individual that doesn't speak in any type of rational terms or logical terms. All she has done is take her hurt and hatred of men and morph it into turning into the man that rejected her. And then now she is behaving in the same way that she said men do, which is verbally abusing and disrespecting women. That lady is a complete nut job. Also, as far as her tearing down black women like Sandra Bland and defending a white supremacist Christian national like Charlie Kirk, there is something mentally wrong with Princella. And I don't say too much if you have your own opinion as a black woman. I always tell y'all that, whatever y'all think is cool, we all have a right to have our own ideals. But I tell you, if I see y'all supporting this lady, I'm looking at you sideways. I might not tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because I probably won't tell you that. But I'm just so that you know, this probably be the last time I ever say it. I'm judging you internally if you support Princella. Like, truthfully. Like, there's something you got to do better, sister. You got to do better. You got to do better. You cannot let your irritation with men make you an easy mark to be preyed upon by a lustful lesbian lunatic, because that is what Princella is. A lustful lesbian lunatic is what she is, for real. And I said it and I ain't never gonna take it back. Sorry, I won't. Sorry, not sorry. Her behavior has been reprehensible, and I can understand being mad at these dudes and the way they be acting, and be mad at black men and their mistreatment of women, and be mad at men and how they be playing in women's faces. But to support that lady is to support a dangerous, delusional, diabolical, deranged, you know what I'm saying, disturbed lady. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have ended it off with another D, but I love alliteration, but I couldn't. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys later. If you enjoyed this live, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for staying. If you're a black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know that you are awesome, amazing, special, valuable, and I love you. And if you have not heard that from anybody today, you heard it from me. And I only make these lives not to put any black women down or anything, just to elevate you and just to challenge you to think critically and to protect yourself and to realize that amongst black women, we are all we got, for real. So it's best to take your time to pour into other black women who would love on you than to pour into people that would spit on you. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh, and shoot, thanks to all the black women that came up, all of you guys. I appreciate y'all. And also my husband that came up, and also the other black man that came up. Kingsley or something like that. Wait a minute, no, because there was some other black men that came up earlier, but that one of them was crazy and the other one, he was okay. But all right, anyway, bye. See y'all.